sure it will be great.
I hope so.
Totally
so
kill us.
totally. Why would I do that on
Yeah.
a Halloween evening? When last we left off, the Left Stars had arrived in the festival city of Horizon, ready to watch Aesopp participate in a long-awaited, highly anticipated Tournament of Tales, a multi-day tournament of storytellers from all across Ventus. During the first round, Aesopp had spun a tale of wonder and mystery, painting himself and the Left Stars as heroes who dove off of an airship to delve into the lair of an evil necromancer, surviving to tell the tale afterwards. That's the very short version, but the full version was much more impressive. But with the help and support of his friends, Aesopp won the crowd and set a high bar for the rest of the performers to follow in his footsteps. However, the performance was not without its hiccups, as Clax had cheered on his friend at the end of the second chapter, and someone in the crowd was all too happy to put a frown on Clax's face by countering Aesopp's final illusion spell. Nevertheless, Aesopp's performance held strong, and while you haven't seen the judges' verdicts yet, it was clear, from the crowd's perspective at least, that Aesopp had sort of outperformed Heartcrusher, ATL, and Young Destin. And as the night wound down with a late night stop at the local bakery, Clax discussed his history with Selny Vaughn, the person who had done the counterspell, who he would like to see locked behind bars. And as the party settled with those thoughts, you all came to rest at the Canopy, the inn that you're staying at, readying yourself for the next round of the Tournament of Tales. I truly don't remember if we had the opportunity for nighttime activities at the end of last game, so I'm going to offer that up again, as you are settling in to sleep in your separate rooms. I think you guys got 3 rooms. Is there anything that you would like to do, or anybody you'd like to talk to before we move on to the next day?
I'll start. I'm pretty sure I said this at the end of the last game, but just to continue with the story today, I will be in the room, if anyone's going to be in there with me or not, drawing some pictures of me and Rory. Just some like really cute pictures of me and, best friend, love him to death, just really simple pictures.
That's right, I am remembering now. Anything else from anybody?
I think I had remembered that Flint stayed up for an hour or two or something, just trying to see if any of the other contestants ended up showing up.
Right.
At the place we were staying, but I don't think I saw any.
Yeah, you did not. And I suppose I'm looking. Now I'm remembering a lot of what happened. But if there's anything new people would like to do that hasn't been said already.
Drado would take some time, and I said things last time that may have been Dustin memes and may have been actual content, and I don't remember which. But I think Drado would find some time and play with his makeup a bit for the next day, for the next tournament events, to have some little subtle references to all of the party members in it, be it a little mouse-shaped thing on a cheekbone, or a little dragon breathing fire coming out of a hairline, little silhouette, little lines for Flint, and maybe some bullhorn, just tiny little touches, but just to show support.
Very good. Well, the evening is uneventful, and you all wake up the morning probably still with some leftovers from the bakery, as you had visited there several days in a row at this point. Um, you do know, and this is a friendly reminder because we skipped a week, you do know that as part of the next round of competition, um, you've you must come to the Rising Melody sometime in the morning to register the people who are to participate. And Avendir had requested, but not required, that the entire group participate in this next event. So, as you all sort of, there's no like formal kitchen here at the Canopy, but there's just sort of like you guys have adjacent rooms, and as everybody's starting to wake up and make themselves sort of settle into the sitting area downstairs in the Canopy, you have an opportunity to discuss what your plans are for today.
It sounded like last night there was some debate about you not participating, Plax.
Well, it was more of, I worry if I'm going to be a liability and put a target on your back, especially with Miss Vaughn in the potential audience, and also not much of a performer, back when this originally came up, I was happy to be the guy walking the crowd to make sure everything's all right. But it's one of those things, though. Aesopp, if you need me, I'll be there. But just,
I don't think it's performance based from the conversations I've had with Avendir about kind of what to expect with round 2. Of course, not many details were given, but just the fact that I can't really rely heavily on performance or charisma in this specific round. So
What if the scenario involves a fight or something?
that is true.
You're sort of our least squishy protector.
Also, like, talking about liabilities, I put this party in danger multiple times at this point. You have your own turn to take. You're good, my dude.
I believe someone once told me that 2 wrongs don't make a right, but I appreciate the thought there, Drada. So, like I said, I will do whatever you guys need me to do. I'm warning you, just if she pulls something else, like I can't. We're in a bad spot, right? Avendir specifically said, don't create a scene, right? And I really want to create a scene.
I think it's on her to create that scene, and at that point, we're just reacting to it.
This is true.
All right.
Well,
I still think this is a bad idea.
Oh, it may be a bad idea, and may not have taken all that many improv classes in my time, but the one thing I remember is, you got a yes and. So we're gonna be given something, and then we're gonna respond best we can. You need to be part of that yes, my dude.
I'm just gonna then nod at Drada and turn to Aesopp. Yes, and hopefully this is a lot of fun.
There we go. That's the attitude we're looking for. I'm assuming we're all just kind of eating around the table right now.
Yeah, it's like couches and coffee tables downstairs. I imagine that you're just pulling out whatever rations or stale bread you have from the previous night,
Right.
and just hanging out.
Well, I mean, we could all go to register. I don't know if it's all of us or maybe just one person for the group that needs to go, but I'm down for either or.
There was the impression, I will say, that anybody who's registering should come.
So we all need to go.
All right. Is anybody else's pastries a little stale? Because I'm pretty sure bread's on the way.
Yeah.
Good. could stop off and get some
You know,
more
we're
pastries.
not going to buy as much this time, but just
Well, of course,
maybe
yeah.
a meat pastry.
Something to fill you up in the morning, right? Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
We
carbo
just
loading.
spent so long in a town in which I wish no well upon any vendor or person, and we found a place that is not terrible and has good food. Let's support them. Go.
Oh, oh.
Well, as I ponder Drada's invention of the term "my dude" in fantasy, I do find that you all
You're welcome.
Successfully navigate your way to bread. It seems that the pastries of this hour take on a more bread always has a variety, but as opposed to your sort of meat pies, this is where they're getting into your like croissant with like sausage in it situations. And so you all load up on sandwiches and like, you know, apple fritter or Danish or whatever it is that you're looking for. Somebody throw another 3 silver into your breakfast if you don't
I got
mind.
My idea. I'll got it.
And is there anything you would like to talk about or do as you sort of walk and eat on the way to the Rising Melody?
Yes. So Flint, as we're like eating our food, Flint, I know you like briefly mentioned you wanted to learn more about like that quintessence thing we ran into with like the pen and like giving souls to like inanimate objects. The middle like monument that's in the middle of the courtyard, that the grass courtyard that we walked through, that's a monument to quintessence. It's the unity god of all of the elementals, if I'm remembering that correctly. I just thought that was interesting that the name popped up again.
Y'all have to take a stroll over there before we leave out of town. Now frantically trying to look back through my notes and remember what I was interested in about this.
Well, yeah, it was Zazius who was the one who mentioned quintessence prior to all this. So it may have just been a magic item crafting sort of question.
Okay.
Well, you all take a few hours. You do walk past the Horizon Theater again, and I'd already sort of previewed to you what it looks like, but you see just sort of walking by that the finishing touches are being put in where they seem to have sort of erected a stage with all these couches laid out, and they seem to be like setting up some sort of like arcane lighting that is sort of pointing in all directions. But as you sort of approach the Rising Melody, you see that the interior is quite empty. The events of the last night have sort of been cleaned up, and it seems like they're doing a minor reconfiguration of it. That whatever it is, you're imagining that they might be setting up for day 3. And you find that sort of that, I haven't made a map for it just yet, but you find that the hustle and bustle of Avendir's workers, that they're sort of setting up 2 platforms, one that is on each side of the Rising Melody, and that where sort of that middle area with the middle stage and the judges table, that has sort of been cleared, and that it is now just sort of a empty open spot, whereas the platforms are sitting on each side, sort of closer to that section of the audience, if that makes sense. So basically the entire place is being split into 2 sides, and to what end you're not quite sure, but it, because as best as you can tell, it's just sort of a minor change in seating, and building these 2 separate platforms for presumably the contenders to stand on. But in the midst of all this, you find Avendir, who is again sort of just handling logistics at this point. But you don't see, there's no clear place to go.
I will take that chance or take the opportunity, since there is no clear place to go, to walk over to him. Be like, good morning. Hope we're not bothering you. Just here to register in. Hopefully we're in the right spot.
Of course. Yeah, good morning. Will all of you be participating? He kind of speaks to Aesopp, but is speaking past you as well to the group of individuals behind you.
I believe so.
Good. Well, please follow me. He leads you to the back room that you've been to before and that you had met Aurelia in. This is, I think, the first time that some of you have seen this back room. But there's just sort of like a desk. There's a couple larger ale barrels there, some smaller ones, and variety of like simple cooking equipment. And but the one thing that stands out in this room is that sitting at the desk is the sort of glowing purple figure of Arcana, one of the 4 judges who you had never been quite introduced to, but had seen apparate in at the beginning of the first round. And as you all sort of file into the room, you look, and Arcana has not moved or recognized your entrance at all. This figure is standing sort of placid, straight-faced, staring into nothing, as Avendir sort of lets you all in and closes the door behind you.
Good morning.
Is he all right? He looks a little out of it.
I need to...
I don't know. I've never seen anyone like this before.
Casting a spell or something if he's made of magic?
Could we tell if he's casting a spell or not?
I mean, go ahead and roll me a perception check or insight check, or I'll let two of you roll something.
I'll do insight.
I can take perception.
Sure.
Dang, it was an 18. So close.
Okay.
Hey.
With a 10 insight, starting with that, as best as you can tell, this is like this is just an individual who is paralyzed, for lack of a better word, or like if he didn't look like he was made out of light, you would guess that he was made out of stone. You know,
Right.
in the sense that he is just completely unmoving and impassive in this moment. But Drada, as you sort of peer a little bit closer with an 18 perception, there's without being aided by some kind of like actual magical detection, it's hard to figure out what this means. But he's not doing anything, but there's certainly less of a glow than there was yesterday. It's almost like you're observing this form in stasis. Like it's sort of on standby almost.
Is he just meditating? Is this his, like, powered down mode? I don't. Oh,
He looks like stone. He looks like stone to me.
I think I was told I need to... Avendir picks up a bell that is on like a little jingle bell that is like a I don't know what they're called, but those little bells that are that is on the desk and says, I was told that he is busy and that I need to call him here whenever you're ready.
Is this like another body of his? Another like form that he can take on?
Maybe this is just like a projection of him.
Avenir says, I tend to not find myself comfortable asking him questions.
He's not very talkative or friendly.
It's that's one way of putting it. But anyway, he sort of takes the bell and is like pausing to see if any of if you guys are done talking. And then a moment passes and he rings it, and you find that there's sort of a swell of purple light that comes from the figure, and he sort of turns. He's sitting in a chair presently, and he sort of turns towards you all, remaining sitting, and you hear in sort of like an like what sounds like a distant voice that is sort of coming into your mind. His mouth is not moving, but he's speaking to each of you telepathically at the same time and says, "Will you all be participating?"
Yep.
I just kind of look around. I'm like, yeah, sure thing. I look around.
Glax verbally responds yes.
Sure hope we all were asked the same question, but yes.
Mouse just thinks really hard. She's like, if somebody can speak in my head, maybe I could speak in other people's heads.
He one way or the other, you imagine that he has gotten the acknowledgement that he needs to proceed. Because what you notice is that out of sort of thin air, he raises his hand, and a sort of ball of purple light comes into existence and forms into a sphere, like kind of a crystal ball of sorts, except it's made of the same purple energy. And within a few seconds, that sphere, unlike the rest of his body, turns completely black. And he says, well, he actually doesn't say this. It's Avendir who turns and says, if you all could please reach for the sphere, and that will capture your registration.
Capture our
Whoa.
registration.
Like identification? Are we like, is this gonna take blood from us? Should we feel prick?
It's perfectly safe, Avendir says.
Hand on one of my side hand axes. Left hand on one of my side hand axes and reach with my right slowly.
I also reach and I'll touch it.
It is cold. Not such that it's freezing your hand, but there's something about the air of this object that is that it is shedding this sort of weird sensation through your body. You feel a magical sort of effect washing over you, and I am asking you if you would choose to try to resist it.
So when you said washing over us, I know you said it's not necessarily like what would instinctual reaction be? Is it revolting? Like, is it something where there's a sense of danger? I guess what I'm getting at.
No, nothing like that. It's so the feeling of the sphere itself is it's cold to the touch, but the effect that is sort of sort of crawling up your arm from the sphere. It doesn't. It just sort of gives you the feeling of entering a freezer for a moment.
Then I will, at least I'll speak for myself, not resist, but again, start really looking at Arcana a little more closely. See if I can read anything off them while I'm standing there.
I will also not resist. It almost kind of feels like some of the sensations of me practicing my magic, kind of going through the motions of when I first started using my magic in college. So it's almost kind of like a welcoming feeling, I would say.
You can roll an insight, Clax, if you'd like, but is everybody else reaching for the sphere as well?
Mouse like instantly grabbed it, and with no like hesitation or resistance, she is here to support Aesopp winning this tournament.
I think seeing my allies touch this thing and not immediately keel over dead, casually walks up and touches it like it's no big deal.
I think Drada's the most hesitant. Like, maybe gives one look over to being like, do I really have to do this?
Gives one look over to who?
Avendir being like, do I have to do this?
If you're participating, you would need to, yes.
Okay. Very, very hesitantly, Drada touches it, sure.
This sensation washes over you all before it has a warm, soothing effect, like like an icy hot pack or something. I don't know. And you all find that it starts to get hot enough where you remove your hand, not out of pain, but out of just sort of like, you know that the effect has sort of ended. With your 15 insight, this individual is hard to read. Honestly, even rolling a 20 against him would be difficult to really glean much from. But what you're able to tell is that he seems unsurprised by what is happening. And as you all pull away your hands, the sphere sort of shrinks and disappears, and he turns his chair back towards the desk and says, "Let me know when the next team has arrived." Towards Avendir, before his shape seems to dim again into a soft glow of energy.
Lavender, do you know what this guy is? Is he just like...
He sort of is like, let's talk outside. And he sort of starts to shuffle you all back out into the main chamber of the Rising Melody. And he says, "Sorry for the strangeness of this. It's part of the... Well, I can't tell you what today's competition is, but it is something we've done before, and nothing that you should be worried about."
You think it's within our skill set?
Well, it's too late to say no. So I sure hope so.
A real sign of support.
You will all be great. I mentioned to Aesopp that, and I think I've said this to you all before, winning is not a priority for me. Of course, I hope the best for you, but I'm just happy to see you perform.
I mean, it's been an adventure so far, for sure. I never thought I would be on a stage with that many important people watching me perform something, so it's already been a fun experience, and I think we're really appreciative of you allowing us to come.
Well, I suppose then that is all we needed for now.
We're on
if-
tonight, right?
Yes, at the Horizon Theater
Okay.
around sunset. So,
Perfect. Can you should we bring something specific, or are you feeling some type of way, like offensive, defensive things?
I think you should come prepared.
Okay.
As much as I want to see you succeed, I'm an ethical man. I don't wish to influence the events.
Right. I understand.
But that leaves you to your own devices for at least the next several hours. Well, frankly, for half the day. But I was wondering, and he sort of looks towards Flint, Drada, and Mouse, and said, "Before you all head out, I was wondering if I could grab one of you for that quick chat." The rest of
I
you
can
are
chat.
welcome to The rest of you are welcome to sit down. I have some drinks brought out if you want a morning beer.
DM question, Clax. I thought you already talked to Avendir. Or am I wrong?
Sorry, Flint, Drada, and Mouse. If I said Clax, that was a mistake.
Did we talk to Avendir about Velna? What her name is? Bond? The lady in
Selma.
red?
Yeah,
Selma?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Selmy?
Just in general, he said she was going to be a participant, but just don't cause any problems. And so she was a participant, and I didn't cause any problems. At least not for
Or
him.
an attendee.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Correct.
You all have not talked to Avenir about her, but
No.
Clax did. Well, he sort of gestures over to one of the tables that seems set up and says, "I'll have somebody sent to take care of you, but Mouse, if you don't mind."
Of course.
And he leads you to one of the outdoor stone tables, and he does produce one of the vials of oil and says, "I've used this when privacy was necessary. I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about in case your friends are listening in, but I didn't want to use the back room because Arcana's there, so."
I mean, I don't think there's anything we'd talk about that my friends can't know.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not suggesting that there is. I'm just giving you the option. And you guys, and I'll say, above board, that it's not like you guys are immediately next to this other table. You are a distance away, so nobody can really hear what is said. But before we get into that, is there anything that the table would talk about as Mouse is sort of ushered away?
Just pose the question to the table and just kind of talk about ideas on, if Selna's still here, what do you think we can do to dig up dirt? Is there anything we can find out? Do we try and get some dirt again? I don't want to play our cards or show our hand too quickly, but just trying to see if there's any way we can get additional information or even track her. Anybody have any spells or anything they can put on her to know where she's going?
Unfortunately, oh, go ahead.
Go for it.
I mean, I don't think I should get involved just because, I'm here with the tournament, and if anything were to happen and I were to be there, it'd have been real bad for all of us. I could give someone enhanced ability to send off and do their thing, but that's all I got.
So, DM question. She's a humanoid, correct? Is she a human
Correct.
and/or elf?
She is a half elf.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I can. I think I should be able to help track if we wanted to do some sneaky situations.
Yeah,
Well, and are assuming she's at the event this evening, it'll be at night. Presumably, after it's done, she'll be heading back to wherever she's staying. At the very least, a couple of us could probably follow her. I can be invisible. Drada's invisible in the dark all the time. Mouse can be a mouse. And we could at least figure out where she's staying, and then maybe make some plans to poke around a little bit more some other night.
all right.
It has been, because we took a week off, I'm offering you a friendly reminder on something you discovered last session, is that you were trying to poke around on who she had meetings with. And there was one person who you were able to identify, which was Ellen Trugust, who's
Yeah.
the mayor of Skyhelm.
Just from observing Ellen at the first event, because I walked around and kind of gave glances. It wasn't particularly effective, but I observed the ring. Would I get an impression that Ellen might be easier to follow and not be noticed than someone as perhaps powerful and devious as Selma?
I'll let you roll a wisdom check with disadvantage to kind of recall this. Yeah, it's sort of like you weren't keeping that close an eye on Ellen specifically. Yeah, hard to tell in hindsight, because you only really thought about Ellen after connecting dots that she might even be into anything fishy. As far as you knew, she was just some random person going into meetings on the side. So, unclear, but perhaps.
Okay. I mean, so we have Selny. I'm saying her name right.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Selny or Selna,
Yep.
either way.
Great. Drada doesn't care. Jacob cares.
Read.
We could, I mean, we have the Ellen route, we have the Selny route. We could observe today and see if either of them is doing anything particularly suspicious looking or might be easier to follow than the other. Unless y'all have someone you're really gunning for.
I like it. We'll just keep
Well,
eyes on.
and we could, depending on how spent we are after today's events, we could split up and one or two of us follow one and one or two of us follow the other. As long as we're keeping a distance, it's probably safe.
All right.
The only thing I worry about, and Klax, you probably know her capabilities out of all of us, of course, because we just met her, but I'm worried that she's got something. Oh, I feel like she's the type of person to always have her back. Like she's always watching her back. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Klax, but I'm just worried that she'll be prepared anytime, any day for someone trying to follow her, especially if she's doing something fishy here.
I guarantee you're probably right, and that's why I don't want to do anything overt. It's just see what information, if any, we can grab, and if the opportunity doesn't present itself, we don't overextend. We don't get Avendir in trouble, and we sure as heck don't get you kicked in trouble during the Tournament of Tales. But there's an opportunity to get some additional information. I would implore this team to help me out on this situation. But again, no need.
Absolutely.
Don't, if the opportunity's not there, we won't push it.
We'll be smart. Like, nobody should be tailing her from close range and be invisible or something like that.
Yeah, Drada.
What? I heard nothing.
Huh?
We'll pivot over to Mouse and Avendir, and then as they return, you can continue that conversation with Mouse coming back. But as you sit down and Avendir sort of settles in, he says, well, I hope that you've been enjoying your time in Horizon so far.
Of course. It's every new city brings new and fun things to look at.
I'm glad. I appreciate you taking the time. I know that I don't know if people are sharing what kind of conversations I'm having with them, but just wanted to check in with you and see sort of how you're feeling about this potential arrangement, the left stars being able to have some kind of partnership together.
Of course, everything we've done with you thus far has been very educational, and we've learned a lot, and we've gained some both new skills as well as new items. If we can help you, I think we'd be more than happy to continue doing so.
I'm certain that you can. I suppose that my interest is also just making sure that I can help you all. I know that you spoke about a ship of yours that is in Vind. I did look into it, so I'm a bit familiar with the situation.
Yeah, we made a bit of a mistake there. I honestly, the more time goes on, I'm less concerned about the ship for me, but I may have gotten my friends stuck here. And I think they would like a way to go back home. And I think that ship's the only way to get them there if we can fix it.
You have other friends that you have in the ship, or?
Yes, 4 of us came over together.
Oh. Is that, I mean, I ask this genuinely, would you not go home with them if that's the intent? Or...
No, I spent my whole life wondering what was on other islands. Now that I'm on one, it seems a shame to leave just because we got here by accident.
You think your friends don't feel that same way?
I think they may have followed my lead, and I think some of them are a little homesick. I don't think they expected to be gone this long.
Well, of course, I think I mentioned that I would try to support you in this. I did receive word that it's not just the fines in question, but there's now apparently some growing storage fees as well, and something about it needs to be signed off for its skyworthiness.
I mean, it's perfectly skyworthy. If anything, it's not landworthy. It also seems rather unfair to charge storage fees for something that they're forcefully storing. We would have happily taken it out of storage by now had we been allowed.
I want to make it clear I'm not defending the bureaucracy of our government, but
I appreciate that, because they don't really seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah. What I was able to gather is that they don't believe that it is a skyworthy ship, and then it has sort of been impounded until proven otherwise. And so by storing it, not only are they collecting these storage fees, but they are also keeping it from their perspective, flying and crashing into some other town. Again, not my words, theirs.
I think it's a good thing you're coming into some power in Vin, because people around those parts could really use some more open-mindedness.
Well, this is the skyports are primarily ran from the government, unfortunately. So, while my power could influence things in Vind a little bit, I don't know that Vind is really collecting those fees specifically.
Fair, I still believe in your ability to make change.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, so I can continue to look into this, and it's, once I would say once we have a formal partnership in place, I feel more comfortable in sort of covering that expense on sort of behalf of our work together. I don't know what I can particularly do about the whole getting it out part, so I can try to make some contacts and have somebody inspect it and maybe see what needs to be done to satisfy the bureaucracy of it all. But
I mean, the left stars can probably get it out if it's easier for us to do it.
I mean, I don't quite know what you mean by get it out, but I would say that if it goes missing, that could raise alarms on the new local lord who's controlling crime in their city.
Fair.
So, well, perhaps we can continue this conversation once I've figured things out. But all that to say, and I don't want to suggest that I'm holding the ship hostage, and you have to sign on with me in order to get it out. But it is something that I'm happy to provide relief for, were you to join the company.
I would be very interested in that. And thank you again for helping our friends get to Dusklight.
Sure, of course.
Dusklight.
I wanted to just very quickly talk to you about that. It's just the nature of the communication method. It's very difficult to say no to an urgent request when I can only provide short responses. Like, it's sort of, I don't feel like I had enough information to really to make a informed decision. I'm happy to have been of help, but my hope is that you all are sort of resourceful enough to solve your own problems. And not to say that I can't be a support for you, but it was sudden, and I didn't know if saying no would mean that you all wouldn't come. So I just felt a little pressure to say yes.
Fair. I'm glad you helped good people. You can always say no. 6 seconds isn't a lot of time to share information. But in the future, we'll try to give you as much as we can.
That would be helpful, yeah. And I'm sorry. I know that I don't mean to put a dour mood on what sounded like a happy result. I just find that I would have preferred to do business slightly differently is all.
I think I understand.
in the end, I am happy your friends have made the trip. I'm happy that they, I'm assuming, will arrive safely. I do trust Captain Willow to get the job done. So, in whatever way I can be a resource to you, I'm happy to explore that. I just, if we could find a way to have those conversations in person, I generally prefer it. But I'm speaking circles at this point, so. Is there any questions you have for me?
Nope. Is there anything you need help with setting up for tonight?
I need you and your friends to arrive.
I think we can handle that.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for your time. I will see you soon, I'm sure. And he'll stand up and sort of walk you over to the table with everybody else. And you all are having this conversation about Selnivon, as sort of you see your friends coming around the corner, and I imagine you sort of tamp down that conversation for a moment, and he stops at the table to drop off mouse and says, well, again, I can't tell you too many details about tonight, but is there anything that you need before I get back to work?
No, I think we're good. See you tonight. I'm assuming you'll be in the audience somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Flint and Drada, hoping to meet with one of you at the. There's going to be a reception after the show tonight, and hoping to meet with one of you during that reception if we could, and then speak with the last of you at the sort of like closing reception after the third day, if that's okay.
Definitely.
Very good.
How many people are expected to be there tonight?
He pauses for a minute, considering whether that is a detail that he is even allowed to share. And he says, we'll have a full house at the theater.
And it could house...
You're welcome to arrive early and see for yourself.
You caught on to me. All right, thank you.
He smiles, knowing that you're trying to get something out of him. And says, I'll see you tonight. And he goes back off to handle things.
Well, I hope it was a good conversation, Mouse. Sorry, excuse me. Tired still this morning.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, but overall, I think he's a good guy.
Confusing how so?
I mean, it sort of sounded we could ask for stuff, but maybe he didn't like how I had asked for stuff. Usually back home, people just ask for what they want, and somebody says no if they can't have it.
Interesting.
Kind of gave me the same speech. I almost felt like I was being lectured by my father more than anything. But I thought it came from a good place.
Oh yes, I very much enjoy working for him and having a direction to go. It's nice to have things to do.
Also, let me just clarify. When you said he wasn't super happy about the way we asked for things, you speak specifically of.
We did not hear that last part.
Oh, when you said that he was not super happy about the way we asked for things, you're speaking specifically about.
It's sort of like a ...
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Wow. Did not Did not register that.
Fill in the blank.
Well, I think the understanding I get is asking for something as big as an airship ride for our friends maybe should have been an in-person conversation and not a 25-word one kind of last minute, I think.
Cool.
But if we didn't ask, we wouldn't have gotten an answer.
True.
Oh, but I do believe they arrived safely.
Or
Happy to hear.
so, what do you guys want to do if we win this thing? Like, we get quite a bit of well, I don't know money, but we get
something.
We get the cask of ale, which seems like it's pretty valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we also get to further prove ourselves in a quest given by someone from the castle?
Yeah, that's all the details that have been shared is that somebody from the castle will do that.
We get recognition and some alcohol that's really, really magical. And apparently something else that hasn't been shared yet, right, Dan? Or am I off on that?
I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head what I've shared. There is on the off chance I did not share this, I will retroactively share that there's like a champion's pin, a sort of like a medal functionally.
Okay, I think you did mention that too. Okay, so that's the 3. Wonder how kingly this quest will be if it's coming straight from the castle.
We'll find out. Also, we still have multiple challenges to get through before we even entertain that possibility. So,
Hey,
like,
manifesting, it takes some
we
time.
love
to manifest
manifesting.
things.
We
Yes.
love manifesting, and so there's tonight.
You cut out a little bit. I think your microphone is like not. I don't know if
Love.
it's a
I'll get
threshold
headphones
issue.
shortly. I was so excited to be in the house alone and not have these headphones.
Okay.
It was just we love manifesting, and also there's tonight was the sentiment.
Yes.
Well, you have an amount of time that you can kill between now and tonight. For the time being, you're just sort of chatting, sitting at one of the many tables in the Rising Melody, but you have a good, probably like 8 in-game hours if there's anything in particular you would like to do.
But did you want to go check out the monument, or did y'all want to go check out the monument?
Good.
I'm curious. Plus, I need to stretch my legs.
It's a nice walk.
Love a good monument. Love a good monument.
Sure. Yeah, let's check it out.
Great. You all exit the Rising Melody. Avendir kind of gives you like the sort of like see you later salute as you're leaving, and you begin trekking into the middle of the city. You sort of pass by the Sanctum Lavender. Nothing out of the ordinary there. It seems that you all woke up pretty early and have gotten a move on already. But it is, as you're sort of walking down the road, sort of at the intersection that will eventually lead to the park in the middle, you do cross you cross in the street with Heartcrusher, who is just sort of like whistling to herself and sort of recognizes you all, and you know she's heading in the opposite direction as you. So as she intersects with you, she says, "You all set? Is it all of you?"
I don't know. How many people are you taking with you into round 2?
I don't know. How many people are you taking with you to round 2?
Anywhere between me and any of these people.
Well, I'm taking anywhere between me and one of the contenders. We're teaming up.
Oh.
Out
Yeah.
loud?
The kid needed some help, so figured I'd.
Do you have any idea how this round's gonna go? Have you heard anything?
I have no idea. I'm on my way to check in right now.
Okay. Now you're gonna touch a sphere. You're gonna see Arcana be like all stoic and stone faced. It's a weird experience. You just gotta get through it.
It's like really cold.
Yeah.
Not like emotionally, like physically, like.
I mean, if you've seen that guy's face, he looks pretty cold emotionally too. But
That is true. It's just a cold aura happening.
well, I grew up in the mountains up north, so used to that. Well,
But yeah. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tonight.
alrighty. And she just sort of claps you onto the shoulder and walks past.
Like, ugh.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
Be good to
"Right,
yourself."
I'm so frail. I almost collapsed.
yeah, she's a Goliath woman, so she's probably about as tall as you.
Right. Yeah. So I'll barely like catch myself from knocking over from that,
Yeah, and she gives a hearty laugh and walks away.
as expected.
And you all shake that interaction off for a second before you keep walking towards the monument. The visage that you sort of see is not necessarily what's represented on the map. These are just like icons I found in the software I use, but what you come upon is the shape, sort of like a feminine shape that has a very abstract face. I don't have this in Foundry. I can send it to you all on Discord perhaps, but a feminine shape that sort of has sort of motes of power surrounding it, that is standing on a sphere. This sphere, and this is all unlike the other monuments that are all sort of like in sort of gray stone. This one seems to have been painted with a sort of like a mixture of like blues, reds, browns, and various tints of those things. And it is a statue that is probably standing a good 20 feet tall, about the size of many of the trees here in this park. At this time in the morning, there isn't a whole lot of foot traffic. It doesn't seem like this is a statue that is like, creating that people are necessarily coming to see every morning or walking past. And in fact, the park itself is so huge that that it takes you're like 20 or 30 minutes deep into it before you even come across this. And there seem to be next to the statue a variety of like stone tablets and pillars and things that have writing on them that you could choose to inspect. I'm going to find a picture of this and send it to you on Discord. But if there's anything you would like to do, then let me know.
Probably like read over the descriptions and things that are on all these pillars and whatnot. But
what languages do you know?
that is a good question. Common and Gnomish.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you it's not in Common or Gnomish.
All right. Well, then I don't read squat.
I can comprehend written languages.
You don't actually have to, because it appears to be in a form of primordial.
Oh,
Ooh, Drada reads it too.
Oh,
How
yeah.
exciting.
There you go.
Strada, would you like to practice your primordial?
Frankly, no. Go for it.
Great. Okay, I'll just go to the plaque and start reading out loud.
So I don't have anything pre-written for this, but what it is basically sharing is that it's sort of a all hail quintessence, the god of unity, the god of love and strife. It is talking about the sort of followers of quintessence as being people who are sort of represent the values of their god. These are people who are deeply attached to their surroundings, who sort of embody that in their personality. These are people who have a hatred for things that are highly destructive, and is sort of are those who, another sort of sect of individuals who don't seem to harbor any particular emotions at all, but that are just driven to do the right thing. This set of like almost scripture is sort of laying the framework for different ways to worship quintessence, and it sort of makes you think of a few different things, but I'm going to ask for a religion check from anybody who thinks that they might know anything about local religion, even just like in passing.
Was there a question? Sorry, I had to check out my headphones.
I'll let you, Aesopp, roll religion for me.
Cool.
Because I knew you did some like religious research on this topic.
I did a bit more. More specifically on my little Jimmy Gem on Niptus.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. 20.
So the one thing that you're picking up in all of this is a different interpretation of how some of the other gods referred to quintessence. It seemed that there are some belief systems that sort of see quintessence as being this god that unifies the elements, that is sort of watches over them or brings them all together or something of that nature. But what you're sort of reading and observing as you walk around this monument is that it's more that there are two different belief systems. One is that there are the four elemental gods with quintessence in the middle, and the other is that the four gods make up quintessence, if that makes sense. The quintessence is sort of the god, and that the other four gods are sort of vestiges of it. This particular shrine or statue is sort of leaning towards the former, the idea that quintessence is a separate being that sort of supports the four gods. But in some of your religious readings, you found that is sort of an uncommon opinion.
That they all make up the unity god? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the common opinion in what you read is that that they are sort of. Sorry, I'm thinking of how to phrase this because I might be fibbing my words, but the common opinion between religious scholars is that the gods are separate, but this statue here sort of is implying that it's unifying the four gods. The other thing I'll give you, because a 20 is a pretty high number, you gather from the reading that it sort of is referencing the other monuments in Horizon. Not so much like the fire monument in Horizon, the water element, but it sort of talks about the four statues that surround Unity as being a celebration of a celebration of the elements that pleases the gods and keeps them from attacking or disrupting the natural order of things. The implication is that the statues here in the city are keeping it safe from anything that might displease the gods.
I kind of look down as I'm reading all this aloud. I'm kind of like looking in my bag where I know Neptus is, and I'm just like, I think to myself that I should probably take a trip out here for him just to kind of see what his vibe is about contestants themselves as the Unity God and how they feel about the water elemental statue. If they can see it all, but just I'm thinking that to myself.
But as sort of Aesopp is reading aloud some of this information, is there anything else folks would like to do in this space?
Clax is just kind of wandering around, just pretending to be able to take interest in the art and stuff. Just kind of like walking up something, looking at it, nodding appreciatively, even though it means nothing to him. Couldn't tell you anything about it.
If there are any like unbloomed flower buds, Mouse will just go around and use Druidcraft to pretty up the place a little bit.
I think Drada's people watching. Not like specifically looking for anyone, but just whoever may appear. Just like, oh, who in town frequents this place?
I dropped a picture in our Discord for if you want to see what I was referencing. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Drada, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's still sort of early in the morning, like I mentioned, but as you spend time here, you do sort of find that there are, for the most part, people seem to be enjoying the park for being a park, but there is the occasional person who comes through. You see a like younger fire genasi man that sort of sits down on one of the benches and is just sort of like looking up at the statue. With a 21, you sort of can't read lips per se, but you get the impression that they're just sort of like muttering some soft prayer under their breath, and that gives you the idea that there probably is some religious significance to
It should be
to the person who's here. And you see, you know, one thing that you are noticing, even just in the 30 minutes that you're here, that the people who come in and out and sort of demonstrate any sort of worship, they do seem to be genasi of various kinds. But they all spend like 5 minutes here and then they walk away, it seems.
Drada doesn't. With that in mind, Drada's like, great, I won't climb too many trees. I won't be too disrespectful.
Well, in the hike it took to get here, and in the time you take to absorb your surroundings, a couple hours pass. You have still probably a couple more hours to go, unless you'd like to just sort of kill time here until sunset.
Anybody know what the mellow gnome is?
No, the middle of what?
The mellow gnome. I was just
Oh, the
looking at the
mellow
bookmarks we
gnome.
have on the map.
No, it's more interesting. Evens and starts. I think we talked about it, but I just couldn't remember what it was. But
I think evens and start is where you got your sort of commoner jacket.
Got it.
It's sort of a general store.
Like I said, I remember we talked about it, just couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to go to Augury and Alchemy to get some magic stuff for today.
Do we have enough time, you think, to walk all the way up there and back?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure. Oh, okay. This town is smaller than the last one.
Yeah, it's the same size map, but it's more dense.
We could do it in like 3 hours. Ish.
I think the Mellow Gnome was described to you as a knickknack and souvenir store.
That'll be fun. We can go to either one. So we haven't been either. So I'm down for whatever the group wants to do.
I don't need knickknacks, really. So we wanted to try to hustle up to the Augury and make it back to Horizon Theater if you think we can still make it to the event on time.
Sure.
Do we have a sense for how long it is until the event starts?
Sunset is when you were told to arrive, which would be like 4 hours from now ish.
We're not most of our day doing that, but I think we could make it.
If there's something that could help with the rest of the tournament, it seems well worth it.
Or an item that y'all can use too.
Sounds like fun. Let's do it.
Okay. You all venture up towards Augury and Alchemy. There are a couple towers within Horizon, but as you sort of approach, you see that the sign that is hanging probably about two stories up in this tower is sort of like Augury and then an ampersand and then Alchemy, and it has like an arrow that is pointing up towards the top of the tower. And as you enter the base of it, you see sort of just like a kind of a little bit of a rundown sitting area, and then a spiral stairway that just keeps going up. You're welcome to climb it. But it's one of those, you look at it and you're like, that's a lot of stairs.
We start walking.
Here we go, kids.
I don't know.
Getting our exercise in for the day. Do-do-do.
Warm up for tonight.
Give me a athletics check.
All of us?
Yeah, if you're
Oh,
going up.
no.
Oh no.
Yes.
How high up is this?
It's I'm not. This is more just how winded do you get. I'm not saying that you're going to be punished.
Oh no, Mouse.
Mouse is bad at stairs.
Short legs.
Everybody is faring relatively well. I will say even the 16s are sort of like, oh boy, like there better be something good up there. Mouse, you need to take a break. You just weren't. It's not that you're incapable of it; that you just weren't prepared for this.
Hey guys, I'll catch up. I'll get there in a minute.
You wanna
Sit down and pull
piggyback
out more
ride?
bread.
Do you want a piggyback ride?
No, I'm sure I'll get up there.
Oh, okay.
You save your strength for tonight.
What about your strength?
I don't have much to begin with.
I mean, neither do I. That's all right.
You all continue making your way up, and Mouse, you'll show up in 3 minutes after everybody else. It's not, you don't need you're not going to collapse or anything, but you all find that as you reach the top of the tower, as best as you can tell, this tower has just been stairs. but it's at the top that the stairs circle into an opening that as you reach the sort of landing at the top, there's a door that has a sign that says augury and alchemy inside. And as you sort of open the door and come in, you're sort of immediately hit with like an acrid scent of various perhaps chemicals or spell reagents or sort of unfamiliar things that don't smell too pleasant. And you find sort of as soon as you open the door, there is a human man who sort of pops their head up from under a desk and has a bit of a frazzled look about them. And as they're popping up, you see that they're holding 2 vials of liquid. And the act of moving so quickly, there seems to be a reaction bubbling in one of the bottles, and it sort of like explodes into a small cloud of smoke. And so as soon as you pop into the room, it's like, huh, psh, and there's sort of like a smoke bomb that goes off in this space, and you hear coughing from inside. It says, "Excuse me, I wasn't expecting anybody this early. Hello."
There are a lot of stairs to get up here.
This early? What time of the day is it right now?
I just woke up like a little bit ago. I don't know.
Respect.
Yes, there's a lot of stairs. Good observation. Can I help you?
We just came to see what you have in your store.
Well, of course, I have a number of things. I provide spell services of a wide variety. I am an accomplished wizard, and I, in most cases, given the time, I can also bring spells into a more drinkable form that you can consume at a later date. But I suppose that's all depending on what you are looking for.
What's your favorite spell that you like to do?
Wow. I'm a big fan of... He pulls out a potion that sort of has a blue... like a blue fruit juice look to it. And you sort of look inside of it, and it has, like... you're not sure if it's like toenails or something of that variety. And he looks at it and says, well, when I want to freak somebody out, I drink this and I turn really big or really small.
That's fun. That is a very fun spell. We just came here to say hello. We're participating in the Tournament of Tales that's in town currently this week, so we just came to see if there's anything we could use here.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but perhaps.
Great. Do you leave the tower often?
He kind of narrows his eyes at you and says, why should I?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, if you have everything here in this tower, I mean, there's no point in leaving. What does this person look like?
They're
As smoke clears away.
Yeah, they're an older sort of human man that is balding and kind of like a little bit on the dirty side, not necessarily like they don't clean themselves, but that exploding potions probably have happened before. And they are wearing sort of just a gray robe, kind of like Gandalf-esque, that is sort of like has a variety of sort of stains on it that both sort of like powder stains, burn marks, etc.
Your name?
I am Dumitra. At your service for the right price, of course, if there's anything that you actually know that you want. Or are you just, like, window shopping?
We're like window shopping, and if anyone else wants anything, just possibly an edge up on the competition, as they say, for the tournament. So we don't really know what to expect.
We don't know what we're walking into. Something will happen, and we will be in that something, and we need to be able to react to whatever is thrown our way. So if you could think of anything that could, maybe be of help, really appreciate it.
What are you walking? I mean, what do you think you're walking into?
No, it's at a theater.
At this point, Mouse walks in.
It's a lot of stairs. We're
That's
walking into a scenario.
great observation again. Well, that's vague.
Right?
Yeah, we don't really know what to expect. What do you got?
Well, if you're looking for just sort of people who come here normally look for the basics. They'll get all sorts of antitoxins, healing potions, things of that nature. I've got a couple of those sorts of things in stock, and then he sort of like says, "What else do I got?" And he sort of like digs into a sort of box that is underneath the cabinet. And he pulls out a... Oops, sorry. He pulls out another potion, and that is sort of like in a... You don't actually see sort of what the contents of it are. It's sort of in a ceramic container. And he says, this one makes metal really hot if you think really hard. He pulls out another one and says, if you need like a little helper friend to set up shop for you, then this will create a invisible, mindless, shapeless servant. He like tosses that back. Not that one was in a glass vial, and it just sort of like is a clear liquid. He pulls out this other one that's sort of like a deep black liquid and says, if you're gonna die, you plan on dying?
That could
Honestly,
happen.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, this
Plan on it. But...
This will save you one time. Which, like, I mean, if you die and then 6 seconds later you die again, then you're still kind of screwed. But
Like, how dead can you be, though?
well, it's just sort of the thing. Like, you know, if you were to fall unconscious, then you would keep on your feet.
If I like drank it and then just jumped off this tower, I'd be all right.
Can't say that your bones would be in one piece, but you would be living.
What a life that would be.
How much do you usually charge for some of these?
Honestly, depends. This one that you seem most interested in, he's holding up the black vial, says probably about 500 gold for this. And I would recommend drinking it within 8 hours of your potential death.
How much for the clear vial?
Like 50 gold.
Okay.
For the invisible servant.
Yeah, that one.
Yep, 50 gold. He sort of pulls out a rack of simple healing potions as well. He says these are 50 gold each as well. It's sort of like the thing that flies off the shelves, so I don't actually have that many in stock.
Then
you look down and there's 3 of them.
And how much was the if I die potion?
400.
Oh,
400.
Oh, sorry, it was 500.
Oh, 500.
No, I heard 4 right there.
Did you?
Sorry.
No, it was
Sorry.
5. I'm sorry.
I'll buy all 3 healing potions and the resurrection potion.
How much money do you have on you
Quack,
right now?
Quack, do
What?
you want us to help you with that purchase? Pitch in?
To be clear,
Right.
this is not going to resurrect you. It's going to stop you from dying.
Understood. Let me see. Let me make sure, because I thought I had plenty of money, right? Oh, I have it open. I popped it out. Sorry. There it is. Inventory. It's like, why isn't it coming up? Oh, there's a little more money than I thought. I don't have that much money. Let's see. I'll just buy the 3 healing potions.
You said you had anti-toxin poison potion stuff?
Yeah.
How much for one of those?
That would be a joyous 50 gold as well.
Follow-up question. Oh, no, go for it.
I was just gonna ask him, what type of healing potion are they?
These are they're just like the minor simple ones.
Okay.
I can add them to your inventory.
I will take one toxin resistant potion that you have.
Very well. And I'm just getting out of character to describe the antitoxin. It's sort of advantage against saving throws against poison, so it's sort of like it's not necessarily an antidote. If that's what you're looking for specifically.
It'll still be helpful.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. It might be a weird question. Cool that you have like an antidote, not antidote, but like thing that helps you with poison. Do you have any poison?
He gives you the look and says, "Do you want me to have any poison?"
Be intrigued.
Well, I will leave you to your intrigue then.
Okay.
How much are the potions that make you big or little, and or the one that heats up metal?
250.
Take
I
the
think I can do
unseen servant one.
both of those if I know it's coming. And I can make people big or little today.
Mouse and I should coordinate what spells we probably better.
You're gonna run me out of business then, I guess. Aesopp, you got the antitoxin, is that right?
Aesopp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, the 3 minor healing potions are in Clax's inventory. If you move them around, let me know and I can just drag them onto other sheets. But and Aesopp, you should have the antitoxin as well.
I purchase that unseen servant invisible servant potion.
Yes, very well. I don't have an item card for that, but just if you add a custom item to your inventory, or I can do that actually. That is functionally what it is.
Then what I'll do for right now is who wants a couple healing potions to have on hand, or a healing potion on hand?
Aesopp!
What? Wait. I can wait. Can I? I can actually heal myself if I wanted to. I don't know if I should be the one have it if I can heal myself.
Clint, Drada?
I would probably give one to Drada. They can end up on their own a lot.
Yeah, it's probably not the worst idea.
Did
Give-
it read on me earlier?
No, I was just trying to think who's going to be closer to combat. Because if I go down, just if someone's close. I'm doing this as being a selfish individual, right? Just saying. So I'll give 1 to Flint and 1 to Drata.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, DM.
This individual, Demetra, sort of looks at you and says, anything else? Or if there's any requests that I can work on between now and your next visit as loyal customers?
Is there an elevator?
No. But if you
Ew.
purchase this potion, he gives you, he has the black one. He says, you can find the quick way down that way.
Well met.
Looks like we're walking down all those stairs.
Down's a lot easier than up.
Everyone's calves. Is it though? Is it though?
It is.
All right, well, if you're done spending money, I would like you to leave. And he sort of like shuffles you
okay.
out.
Thank you for your potions. If you have poison, let me know. Bye.
Bye.
And you are all, you find that the trip downstairs is much easier than the trip upstairs. And you
I
don't
look
run
at
into any issues.
Drata. I'm like, Drata, if you wanted poison, why didn't you commission him to make poison?
Hey, it felt like too big an ask. If there was ready-made poison, I'd happily take it. But like, I don't want to be that person, you know?
Yes. It's gonna be rare, or you're gonna have to find like a specific shop that has ready to go poison. That's not like under lock and key. Just an FYI.
I can dream.
Hard is it to make poison?
I was gonna say, Flint, you seem pretty good at making things.
I don't have an alchemist kit, but I know how to use one. I'm not actually sure how long it would take me to make poison.
You want me to buy you an alchemist kit? I'm not saying that poison-tipped crossbow bolts would be cool. I'm not saying that.
Almost just Googled how to make poison, but I should probably put D&D 5e on the end of that.
Don't worry, we are already on some list for all these counterterrorism courses I've been working.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy process to make, and also, even if you're proficient with alchemy kit, doesn't mean that you've done it before. So
There.
you would, it's something you could work on, but it's not something you're going to turn around before the next round of the tournament starts.
Let me think on it a bit. I don't know quite how to craft it right offhand.
You can also imagine that probably not the most legal thing to craft. That doesn't mean that you can't. But is there anything you'd like to do before going to the theater? Or anything? You don't have too much more time to wander. So it's sort of also just like, is there anything you'd like to talk about on your way there?
If nothing happens before then, I would stop us outside and cast a couple spells before we go in.
Okay. Well, go ahead and just, I don't want to fast forward that fast, but is there anything people would like to do, or should we just sort of proceed?
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Well, the night progresses, and I'm realizing you actually had more time than I thought until sunset. But for the sake of brevity, you take a more leisurely walk on your way there. And as the sun starts to set, you find yourselves at the Horizon Theater. The tables have been sort of sorry, not the tables. The couches have been set up as I previously previewed to you, and one of Avendir's workers sort of greets you and says, "If I may escort you to your seats." This is just a Air Genasi woman who you've seen around before. She served you drinks.
Oh, sure. Sounds good. Thank you.
There's been some early arrivals at this point. Nobody that immediately stands out. It seems to be sort of like the occasional very very prompt people who are coming to make sure that they can either get the best seats or otherwise. But you are led to the front row, where you also see that Atiel and her sort of voice assistant are also there. Aesopp, you are actually sat separate from the rest of the left stars. Specifically, there's like a competitor's couch with 4 seats that kind of like last time, except now it's sort of couches. But the left stars are on the adjacent set of couches to you.
Oh, perfect.
I'm going to bring you over to this map. Actually, not everybody has arrived yet, but over the course of a short, like half hour or so, and Mouse, you get this. You'll find an opportunity to cast spells as you see the theater reaching capacity. But this is sort of what eventually comes to be a filled out theater. With a bunch of faces that you don't necessarily recognize, and sort of particularly the people in the front are, of course, the people who are most needed here. But as people are sort of filing in, is there anything you sort of would like to do in what you're quickly reading is sort of the last 5 to 10 minutes before the event is about to begin?
I would have stopped before we even came inside because Gift of Alacrity lasts 8 hours and takes a minute to cast. So I would just sit down with Aesopp and say, I know this is going to be great. You can see here in the stars that things are going to go our way. I believe they're watching us.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, because I have no idea what's about to happen.
I believe in you and give you Gift of Alacrity.
I believe in us. We're going to do great.
Yeah, we're gonna do so good. Got this. You got this. You got this.
Look at the group to my right. I'm just like, yeah, we got this, you guys. Going off Trada's energy.
Chris is here.
Self-actualize. Yeah, at some point you do sort of see Gris sort of in the back, who you haven't seen this whole time that you've been here. I imagine that Klax does a scan to attempt to find a certain individual. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
I would also love to do this scan and or
Sure.
give advantage.
You may roll
Your own.
one or the other.
You can roll your own.
Hard to tell. The energy of the crowd and sort of it's sort of one of those, the nature of like assigned seating makes it difficult to get all the angles that you would need without sort of making
it
yourself
obvious.
known. Yeah.
As people file in, can I try to look over at Atiel and see if she seems to have people accompanying her? If perhaps she has people going into this scenario with her?
You can make an insight check if you'd like. Okay. A 16. the nature of what her ordeal is that it's hard to really tell when she's talking to anybody or how she really communicates. But you see her exchanging glances with her assistant, and they are sort of like nodding at each other. Like there's like body language associated with a conversation that they might be having, but that's sort of the only clue you get.
Got it.
Does Arcana look like he's like present, or is he like
I'll say, yeah, I'll say at this point, the judges are sort of starting to arrive, and Arcana, as previously described, just sort of apparates out of thin air and takes a seat. Does not appear to be... Well, go and give me a perception check as you're just sort of looking into Arcana's activities. Okay. The only thing, it's a very quick exchange that you only catch just a glimpse of, but it does seem that Arcana sort of produces the orb, although it's less showy than it was before. The cold orb that you all touched, it doesn't sort of like appear in a glow of energy. It just sort of appears very promptly and hands it to Avendir, who sort of stashes it away.
Does anybody like engage in conversation with him or anything, or?
No, for the most part, most people, if they are talking, are sort of talking to their neighbors, but nobody is really engaging Arcana at all, and the judges themselves seem quite passive, like they're waiting for the show to begin.
I'll look over to Destin and be like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you nervous? Do you know what's going to happen in this round and you're not telling anyone about it? How are you doing?
No idea. And I'm doing as well as I can do given that circumstance.
Same. I'm just a little nervous.
Well, I'm sure it will be fine.
2 thumbs up.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh no. I didn't know he was looking for me for
affirmation.
Yeah. I'm not there to give it to him right now.
You can use your Silver Tongue ability to make that a 10, which would turn it into a 17 at minimum.
I mean, yeah, it's part of my abilities, but it's a low 17.
Yeah, it's like a clearly a modified 17.
Yeah,
like you're putting on a mask of confidence, and he recognizes that and says, "Thanks for trying." And sort of it's reaching the stage where you all are sort of looking across the way to Avendir, and you're getting the impression that the show's about to start. So if there's any final things you would like to do, then please let me know. Okay. A few moments pass and Avendir sort of comes up to the stage, not sort of like taking center stage as much as just being on the elevated platform that makes up the bottom of this map here. And he sort of like raises an arm to kind of just sort of get people to start to quiet down. And he says, "Thank you all for coming to join us for the evening's events. We have had an excellent set of competitions so far, and we are eager to see the night unfold." he sort of looks at the crowd and sort of his sort of gaze passes over primarily the competitors, but also sort of over the left stars as well. And I want people to describe sort of what they are monitoring in this moment. Just sort of like one at a time. Like, what are you looking at?
Okay. I'll go first. So I'm not focused on anything, except I'm focused on myself, trying to calm my nerves down, going through my emotions, like everything's going to be fine. You have your teammates with you. You're gonna do well. And maybe just like a quick glance over at the other competitors and how they're reacting and feeling towards specific, like either words or just generalize.
Okay. Flint.
I think largely trying to just figure out what might be about to happen. So kind of paying attention to Avendir, what he might be doing with that black sphere, like looking at the stage to see if there's any sort of props or indication as to what they might be doing up there. Yeah, really just trying to figure out what's about to happen.
Okay. If you can roll me perception, but then Clax.
While he's rolling that, really kind of doing the whole nonchalant, like turn to kind of talk to his compatriots, but really just taking sidelong glances over each shoulder, just kind of seeing if he can spot a specific particular person in the crowd, but more just threats in general from behind. Not really paying too much attention to Avendir at this point.
Okay. Drada and Mouse.
I think Drada, seeing that Clax is kind of on troll, and given that he learned that Avendir had some interesting conversations about help that he offered earlier, I think he's really kind of staring Avendir down, trying to figure out what his intent is right now, how he's feeling right now.
Roll me an insight for that. And then Mouse.
Mouse is looking up and looking to the stars and just thinking that she knows how minuscule this is and that it doesn't matter to them, but that she really hopes it goes well for her friends.
Roll me perception with advantage. This series of events is happening in the matter of a few heartbeats. But as you are all sort of looking in various directions, Aesopp, you're sort of gauging the people close to you. You notice that some of them are sort of like twiddling their thumbs or kind of like anxious in one way or the other, and that it is Atiel who herself is looking into the sky as well. Clax, you're scanning the ground for threats, and it's without making you roll, you're not finding what you're looking for, but you're getting a sense of tension in the air. As you see a couple other people, not everybody, a couple of other people who are looking into the sky. Drada, you're staring daggers at Avendir, and even with a natural 1 insight check, you're not really getting probably what you hoped to get out of him, but you see that he is looking into the sky. And Flint, remind me what you were looking at.
I was just trying to figure out if there was anything or what was about to happen, and I was kind of looking at it.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, because you, with a 10, you follow Avendir's gaze and start looking into the sky as well. And Mouse, you're sort of the first person to see that it looks like there are stars that are getting closer. And I'm going to invite everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Mouse can
no.
have advantage.
That's not bad.
All right. Oh.
Oh, yes, everyone's doing really well. Okay, but
So depending on what I'm saving against, there may be a +2 to that.
Well, you rolled a 7, so I'm
Yeah,
going to tell you.
probably not gonna matter. Not gonna matter anyway. But
oh, lovely.
Those of you who failed, which the DC was 15, so Aesopp, Flint, and Clax, you were unprepared for what happens. And it's sort of those of you who were able to best gauge the audience and sort of take cover, so to speak, find that there are small meteors that are slamming into the audience in this moment. And I'm going to go ahead and load up a situation for you all.
Oh, no.
As you see that the entire landscape is sort of blasted, and those of you who failed, you are also currently prone, I should say. We are going to go ahead and enter a little bit of an initiative.
so
Aesopp, you added D8.
Oh, that is beautiful. Okay, let me roll.
Sorry, Drada, no luck for you today.
So sad.
That is a great start for me. 27.
I thought I hit mine. There it goes.
All right. So make sure to suffer the damage that you suffered from this effect.
Oh. Sorry, yeah, real quick. Is this a fire-based?
Yes, it is fire-based damage.
So I can have that then on my end.
Yes. You find that the entire... Oh my god, this song is not quite what I expected it to be. I was like, I want piano battle music. So it's a little bit more intense than I thought. But you sort of recover from this shock as you look and see that the ground has sort of exploded through all these small rocks that have seemed to fall from the sky, and sort of the area is bathed in flame. Aesopp, how do you respond?
I'm sorry. Are we supposed to take damage from that?
Yes.
How much? I did not see that in chat.
Sorry. If you failed, which you did, it was
11.
Yes, 11.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I rolled as Avendir for some reason.
Okay.
Sorry, just real quick because I'm still learning stuff from.
5 for you.
But then I also have Shield Master since it is a Dex-based saving throw. So then I have that again because I have resistance and it's a Dex-based save throw.
Yes, I forgot. So yeah, you take a big 2.
All right.
You're still knocked prone though. You're still shoved off your feet, but you sort of interpose the shield between yourself and a shockwave of energy.
Hey, Basil's here supporting me, so thank you, Basil. God, this is what Aesopp would do. I'm going to look around to make sure, A, all my friends are good, and this will probably take an action because I'm trying to make sure everyone's good. The competitors are, like, still alive next to me, and or if Rory was in the audience, because I did not check for him, if he's somewhere. And if that takes my action, I am absolutely fine with that.
Go ahead and roll a perception check to survey the landscape. I've intentionally added only the pawn tokens rather than individual people. Okay.
Oh.
20s are you gonna roll today?
You do... So, people are not doing okay. You do see... I'm going to drag these tokens onto the field for your awareness. You do see... did you say... Is it Rory or Jory?
Jory, sorry.
Jory,
Yep.
that's fine. You see Jory has... seems to be in a world of hurt up here.
Oh.
And the competitors... they seem to all be sort of like prone and unconscious down here in the corner.
Oh no. Okay. But Jory is still awake.
You're pretty far away.
Is
your
he,
perception,
like,
your
standing
perception.
up?
No,
Ah,
he's also adjacent to a like pit of fire.
makes things that much easier for me. Okay. Shit. Sorry.
fine.
I am because that was my action. I'm assuming, so I am going to.
With a natural 20, I will say that you were so proficient in getting a quick look that it was your bonus action.
Great. So I'm going to. What is this? Okay. I'm going to get up, so that's half my speed. And oh god, I'm trying to pull up the line here. The ruler. Nope. How do you guys do the line that measures out distance?
The second button on the left. Or sorry, no, first button on the left, and then the third button after that.
Although, is there a way to pull up the initiative tracker? I feel like I've had that before.
There's like a carousel button on the left.
Got it. Perfect.
So I'm going to move 5 feet towards the contestants, and then I'm going to Misty Step over there for my bonus action. So it's 30 feet. I'm going to land right here.
Okay, you already used your bonus action. Well, so would you have liked your perception check to be an action or bonus action?
Bonus action.
So you still have an action, so you can't
Okay.
bonus action again.
So I have 20 feet then. Oh, how fast am I? I am so sorry. I'm taking up a lot of time. 30 feet. So I have 10 more feet left because I was prone. So I'm going to move towards the contestants, and that's my movement. And since I didn't use my action, can I use my movement for my action to dash?
Yes. That's
Okay.
totally fine.
I'm going to take that and get over to the contestants. So when it hits my turn again, I'm there. And that is my turn.
Okay. It occurs to me that I need to roll something else, so just give me a second to roll some mystery dice. Don't worry about, I don't know what sort of text it gives you. Okay, it's secret text. Drada, can you roll me initiative again? Or just roll a d20. Just roll a d20 actually, because it's the same. Okay, Drada, you are up next. You dust yourself off from this. You were able to remain standing, but what would you like to do?
I think my brain would go into two directions. One would be, I saw that Avendir's eyes shot up. I'd be like, where the fuck is Avendir right now? And then two, catching Aesopp rushing towards the other contestants. My brain would go, no, I need to be here for him. I need to be here for him. And pass without, probably just rush over. Just honestly, just rush over to Aesopp and be like, hi, are you okay?
Hey, oh my god, they're all unconscious. Like, we need to save people. Like, that's our immediate goal right now.
I think if I had time to be like, Mouse! And people, or no, wait, you can heal people.
Yes, I just can't do it this turn.
I think I would rush over.
Is there anything in particular you do while you're there?
Assessing that, okay, Aesopp's fine. I think my eyes are looking out for Avendir, and they're looking out for Miss Vaughn. The crowd, trying to gauge any threats, trying to go, what the fuck is going on? Just
Okay.
information dump my brain, please.
Give me a perception check as well. You do spot Avendir. He seems to have been thrown off the stage, and he is sort of. Let me drag him over. He is this figure down here. He appears to be unconscious as well.
I think I'd also shout out, Avendir's not doing great. Let's try to get him eventually, but okay, back to this.
I will say, I'll say a 20 total. You should still have a bonus action if there's anything that comes to mind.
No, there's not actively anything to shoot as far as I can tell. So I think I'm good as of right now.
I'm having a difficult time doing something that I'd like to do, but I'll fix it later. Those of you, I think everybody who has not acted yet, you are all currently prone. Is that correct? No.
I should not be.
Yeah, Mouse is not prone. But Clax and Flint, as you sort of like shake off the storm that came raining down from above, you look at one of the craters that is now in the ground, and you see fire that's pouring through it, and relatively large elemental figure comes out of it, and just sort of like has the sound of a roaring flame coming out of like its quote unquote mouth hole, for lack of a better word. And it is just going to what is its movement? Oh, these things are fast. You see that it sort of runs through Clax. And I'm describing its whole turn. You'll have a chance to interact with this, but it runs through Clax and then continues to run basically into Aesopp. And each of you, as it runs through you, is going to suffer some fire damage.
Does this run through me as well?
Yes, it runs through the three of you, as well as Heartcrusher and Destin.
First time in this campaign, I would love to cast my one reaction and absorb fucking elements.
I will ask you, because this effect is going to set you on fire. Would you rather take the damage or not, or resist the damage but stay on fire?
I'd take the damage and not be actively flaming.
Okay, so you will take this damage one time, and then even though it's staying in your space, I will say that you don't catch on fire. Wait, that was ignore that. Ignore my roll.
Ignore mine.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah,
or is that an
Ignore mine. I keep forgetting that that's for damage and not just to cast a spell.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Mine also should not have rolled twice. So those of you who it ran through, just take the top damage, the 2 damage. So that would be Clax, Drada, and Aesopp. You each take 2 fire damage, and 2 of you are caught on fire, but Drada is not. And as this fire elemental sort of settles on this spot with Aesopp and the 2 competitors, it's going to also take a quick swipe at Aesopp for a 21.
There's not a lot of AC to block me.
No, wait. The dice are messed up. You were only supposed to take the 7 damage from that.
Cool beans.
But you are, from this attack, you would have also been set on fire. So that's what the second damage. Ignore. I'll just tell you. I'll fix it later. But
yeah, let me know when I take fire damage.
Yeah, as this elemental just sort of like runs through you all, and just creates a whirlwind of fire. You see yourselves igniting, as well as the competitors at the ground. But it will be Mouse's turn as you sort of observe that.
Real quick, you mentioned that we'd be able to do something.
Oh yeah, if you want to take a reaction, opportunity attack, although you are prone, so it would be at disadvantage.
That's fine. Because I hopefully by the time my next turn comes around, I won't have any other reactions to take. So
Yeah.
Let's see. Going to attack. Oops. Doesn't matter. I don't. Well, yeah. I guess the 16. Well,
16. Yeah.
Let me reroll. Yep, it will not hit.
Yeah, that will not hit. But Mouse, it is your turn.
Yeah. So do I see? I assume that I see that the competitors are down because they hollered at me. Do I see that Avendir is down?
With Drada having called it out, I would say yes.
Okay, so Mouse is gonna start running towards the party. But as she does, she kind of reaches her hand up into the sky, almost like she's grabbing a star, and pulls down what looks like a shimmering chalice, like she just plucked it out of the sky. And that shimmeriness floods over her body as I enter my star form of the chalice, which I've never done. Oh, well, that's handy. I'm going to send that to Avendir as I cast Healing Word on Destin. Healing Word.
So Starry Form is the action, and then Healing Word is the bonus action. Is that correct?
I think... Ooh, isn't my Starry Form a bonus? Yeah, I may have messed that up, didn't I?
Yeah, they're both bonus actions, unfortunately.
They are both bonus actions. Fine. Okay, neither of them heal. I do enter Chalice form. And instead, I'm going to cast... Sorry, that threw me off.
Can you
I'll
get
guiding
to Avendir?
I don't have I don't have Cure Wounds prepped.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, I wasn't well prepared for healing today, guys. I'll cast Guiding Bolt on the elemental.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack.
Cool.
That unfortunately does not hit.
I should have given myself points. Okay. Yeah, that's my turn. Now I'm glowing.
Okay. You do have your movement. I don't know that you've used it all, but you can stay there if you'd like.
I don't really want to be that close to the elemental. I just need to be slightly closer.
Okay. From the flame that is north of Flint, you see a smaller creature sort of reveal itself from it. And there's also another one up here. They're sort of next to each other in initiative. As two smaller creatures sort of appear out of the flames. One of them is going to look at Flint, who is sort of the closest target of its ire. And it is going to cast good old heat metal on your... What is Flint wearing right now?
Lots of metal.
Yeah.
I have a shield, I have my blasting rod, I have armor.
I think that it would probably go for your shield.
Cool.
And you find that like a sort of wave of heat is emanating from this creature as you're able to track it behind you, and that itself is causing you a little bit of harm. If you would like to make a saving throw. The spell save for this one is pretty low, but it is nonetheless.
Is this Constitution?
So if you... Oh, that's right. Why is it not... It should be. Okay.
Maybe undefined save for some reason.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you take, as my entire game refreshes for some reason, you take 3 fire damage, having successfully saved that. I don't know why. It seems like once a session, my entire screen just breaks. But we're back. So you see this sort of effect erupting, and it sort of then flies backwards in this direction. The other one, on its turn, you see that it's actually just sort of taking out its anger on some of the civilian people nearby, as it sort of a gout of flame erupts on a prone figure over here. But Klax, it's your turn.
All right. First thing is housekeeping item. Going back to the original damage, I took just half damage because I wouldn't have had my shield out, just from a common sense standpoint. So then from there, I will burn half my movement to stand up, and then let me flip back. Sorry. There we go. I think that's. Oh. I am selecting all the wrong things. So 5, 10, 15, because that's half my movement, to get within range. And
I should say you do take.
Oh yeah, because I'm still on fire.
Yeah, you are on fire. You take 9 fire damage at the top of your turn.
So reduced to 4.
Reduced to 4. Yes.
Does it take an action or a bonus action to stamp it out?
It takes an action, I believe.
Hot.
I will double check that.
Oh, not take a rest. 1 second. All right. Okay. Now, DM, clarification question. If I were to use repulsion breath at this point, could I aim above the targets that are prone?
Yeah, that would be fine.
All right. So I'll start first by taking the attack action, taking my first attack at the elemental.
Okay.
So I will swing my. Sorry.
Yeah. Getting the fire out is an action, but there's no roll for it.
Yep. Before you tell me if that hits or not, I have a sneak suspicion it's not. So I'm going to burn a superiority die to do precision attack.
Okay.
So I get to expend 1 die. So let's go ahead and roll and add that to my. Oh, did not roll.
Yeah, there you have to roll the superiority die button. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. We do combat like once a month, so.
Sorry.
It's under features.
Yep. Second one action. There it is. Thank you.
13 hits.
Oh. Maybe I burned that for no reason. But...
No, I'll spoil this for you. A 12 would not have hit.
Oh, all right. So either way, all right. So that hit, and then for damage, let me go back up. Sorry, I have too many screens up on my screen trying to fit everything and move.
And there's a damage button in the chat as well.
Yeah, I had the chat covered so I could see more of the map. So.
Gotcha.
So sorry about that. All right. So 12 slashing with my first attack. Then for my second attack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do repulsion breath. And like I said, just trying to aim above the contestants, and take a deep breath and just kind of exhale with, very impressive lung capacity for a dragon. And so repulsion breath is going to be a strength DC 15.
Okay. Big fail.
All right. So then he is pushed 20 feet away and knocked prone.
Okay. It is immune to being prone.
Okay.
It is immune to being prone, but it is knocked 20 feet away from you, which is helpful. You do see, as it's sort of blown back, the trees nearby are starting to ignite on fire as it sort of passes between the 2 trunks, but you do find yourself in relative safety for the time being.
So I use my movement. I think I'm going to wait on action search right now. So that is my turn.
Okay. Flint, you're up.
Use half my movement to stand up. It means I can move a whopping 2 tiles. So I'm going to move down to here. And I'm going to use my action to summon my Eldritch Cannon The protector one, I think.
Okay. Let me get that out of here. I dropped it near you, but you can move it wherever it would. I don't know what the summon distance is.
This guy, it's got to be within 5 feet of me. There. And then, I believe as my bonus action, I can make it move and activate. Yeah. So as my bonus action. So how's this work? It can affect everything within 10 feet. So I'm not going to be able to get it to other people. So I'll activate it now to give Mouse and I some temp HP.
Okay.
Which I click on Flint and do. Force spells that. So we both get 10 temp HP.
Thank you.
And then I will move it 15 feet towards the group. So, 5, 10. Go to like here, 15.
Okay.
And I think that's my turn.
Okay.
I might yell out during all of that, guys, I'm real bad at fighting fire things.
I'm realizing that I moved my guys out of order because there's actually one that has not revealed itself yet that's supposed to act last. So there's this one up here that is actually before Clax, but I'm just treating it as if it was the last one in the initiative. You see an additional one of these sprout up, and similar to the others, you find that this one is immediately drawn to sort of terrorizing the local folks to it, and you see just sort of like carnage ensuing on that half of the map. But Aesopp, it is your turn. If you could first enjoy just some 4 fire damage.
That's not bad compared to 9. Oh, I need to do that on my character, which, sorry, I need the right buttons to click. Okay. Is Heart Crusher and Destin still on fire?
Yes.
Okay. Mouse, did you heal Destin? Did you try to?
I didn't. I will next turn.
I will tell you that the nature of them being on fire is problematic because they are also unconscious, and that is a matter of death saves at the top of their quote-unquote turn. And healing them would not put out the fire.
I can follow up my heal with a tidal wave, but
Does damage, doesn't it?
yes, it does. Puts out fires.
Oh, my mind is focused on one thing, unfortunately. But fire really just... I'm gonna look to Drada and Clax and be like, guys, I have to go. I am so sorry. And I'm gonna bamf away. I'm going to bamf away. Well, actually, let me do this first. I'm going to use, as my bonus action, great spell, Kinetic Jaunt. So I'm going to cast that on myself. So I get an extra 10 feet and I don't provoke opportunity attacks. Great. So I'm going to move. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I need the ruler. Sorry, I have a lot on my mind. In character and out.
Totally fine.
I'm going to move as close as I can get, so here. So I'm going to move my character right here. That's my 50 feet. As a passing glance, do I see who these 3 people are next to me? Do I recognize them?
At a passing glance, give me 1 second. It does look like, and I'm not making you roll for this because it is a easy to sort of. It's Bali Brightbeard, the sort of like one obsidian-skinned dwarf, the mayor of Horizon. He sort of sticks out like a sore thumb compared to a lot of other folks.
Right.
Otherwise, it's sort of like just face down folks that you can't really tell who they are.
Right. Okay. And then as my action, I am going to 10-foot radius. I can't get with a 10-foot radius. I can't get the second guy in there. The second little fire elemental thing in there.
What are you?
I'm trying.
You're trying to hit both of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I just accidentally used it, but it didn't pop up on chat.
Unfortunately, yeah, a 10-foot radius, I think even with its best interpretation, is sort of just outside of the range.
Okay.
To hit
Then
both.
I'm gonna hit the one that's next to Jory.
Okay. This one.
Yes, and
Okay.
if you can call this one, it does say if it's made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal, has disadvantage on the saving throw from the spell.
If this is shatter, it is not. It is not that. Would you mind? I don't actually see having casted in the chat, so I can't roll the saving throw.
Yeah. But it used up my spell slot. At least I'm pretty sure it did.
You can like add the spell slots back in and stuff. If you...
Okay. So I still have one left. Oh, see, it's not popping up in chat for some reason because I just used it again.
Okay, let me. I did
it
it.
came up.
Well, I just did that. So
Oh.
if you could still investigate, but that's fine. So check and see if I spent another one of your spells when I did that. But
We're good.
go ahead and roll. It does succeed.
I
but
tried.
It still does half damage.
Yes.
Are you able to click the damage button?
Oh, I am so sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Uh-oh, I clicked it and nothing happened. Did anything
Okay.
happen on your guys' screen?
No, why don't you go ahead and refresh? I'll go ahead and roll this one for you, just in
Okay.
case.
I'm gonna refresh the screen, sorry.
That's really fine. So that was 16 was the result of the 3d8, and with it saving, it takes 8 of that damage.
Well,
Um,
are they still floating?
It does seem to still be floating. I'm going to roll a concentration check for it, as it has the heat metal, and it is able to maintain concentration on that. But is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I'm gonna scream at it. What do you want? Why are you here?
And are you saying that in Primordial?
Yes.
Okay. Oops, that was the wrong button. Drada, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna do something funky. And want to know if you think this makes sense. If not, it's fine, I can do something else. There are currently 3 incapacitated contestants in front of Max and I, correct?
Yes, and 2 of them are on fire, although you are not.
Yes. Looking at the text of Entangle the spell, having a whole bunch of like weeds and vines and earth and such sprout out of the ground, I was wondering if it would be possible to use that to try to put out the fire and then quickly dismiss the spell, so that our little fire elemental does not light the entangle vines on fire.
I would let you try. It would be sort of an Arcana roll to do so, if that's something you want to try. You do know that it would be difficult, and that it's possible that, given how fast things caught on fire, is that these vines would just erupt instantly.
it's that fire, the fire is that bad. We're not good at Arcana. We don't know how magic works. Remind me who exactly is on fire in front of me?
Destin and Heart Crusher. And Clax, I should say.
Hey, Clax, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Destin! And I would probably put Destin's fire out. Bonus action, Hunter's Mark, the large flame elemental in front of me.
Okay. As your Hunter's marking the flame elemental, you see, because I'm telling you this because its turn is next, you see that it's looking right at your crew again. And you can anticipate that it's just going to set Destin on fire again. So I'm giving you this information unless because I would say as part of putting the fire out on Destin, if you want to drag him away, you may use your movement for such a thing.
Okay, I would love to try to do that.
Okay.
Strahd is an emaciated teen. I don't know how good he is at that, but let's try it.
It's half of your movement speed to carry somebody with you. So you could pull him back 15 feet as you see.
Love to pull Destin back 15 feet.
Okay.
Be there.
Okay. And you have 5 more feet of your own movement if you would like to use it, but you see that this fire elemental is sort of rearing up to make another charge.
I would probably put another 5 feet of distance myself.
Okay. Great. So it is Hunter's marked, and on its turn, while it was looking in your direction, it sort of had its eyes trained on Clax, having more recently hit it. And you see that pulling Destin out of the way was a good idea because it is sort of here to just envelop Clax once again. In this sense, Clax is already on fire, so that effect doesn't really matter too much, but it is going to try to reach for Clax for a sort of another attack and does not succeed. But I forgot that these things actually have multi-attacks, so let me actually roll one more time. Oh, no, not at all. However, there is, of course, the nature of, like, this thing is, despite... okay, I see. So despite that... Sorry, I was just rereading its ability. Despite the fact that it doesn't seem to be sort of able to strengthen the fire on you as it's reaching for you, you still do take damage as it enters your space.
No worries.
So if you could take another 5 down to 2 fire damage as you all sort of see Clax almost in the eye of the storm of this fire elemental that is just sort of surrounding him. Mouse.
Okay. Is Avendir on fire? Or just unconscious?
He appears to be unconscious, like a concussive blast pushed him off the stage.
Got it. So I am going to start by doing what I tried to do last time and healing word Destin and use my chalice on Avendir. Would you like me to re-roll those or use what I rolled already?
Up to you.
I will re-roll those.
Okay.
Healing word. And the chalice form.
Okay.
So 8 to Avendir and 6 to Destin. Do I have any idea from... I don't want to get any closer to this, really. Do I have any idea from here if Heart Crusher is just unconscious or if she is dead?
I don't know. I'll let you roll an insight or medicine check with a high DC to figure that out in the chaos. Yeah, hard to tell. I'd say with 16, you're like, if she's not dead, she's about to be.
Got it. Wording on Druidcraft says I can snuff out a small campfire. Can I snuff out a person?
Well, you can just do that. Yeah, I would say yes, only because it takes an action to normally stuff it out. So
I'm just trying to do it from a distance.
yeah, that makes sense. I would say Druidcraft would allow you to do that from a distance.
Cool. I will snuff out the fire on Heart Crusher.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Very well. The smaller one that is sort of maintaining the heat metal on Flint is going to press that upon you again.
Of course it is.
Which okay, I'm failing at macros on this one, so I'm just going to roll. That is 11 damage, but you can make a Constitution saving throw.
So I think I remember this right, and why it probably didn't have an appropriate save is because I don't think there is a save for heat metal. I should
well, this
confirm.
this is a different.
Oh, okay.
Because these are like CR 1/2 creatures, so they actually are slightly different.
Gotcha.
But it is programmed wrong. So you are able to resist the effect, the full effect of this heat metal, and only take 5 damage.
All right. Oh no, wait. I'm not concentrating on anything yet. Okay.
And it is going to fly towards you all, and as its action. Okay, yeah, this creature is just completely broken entirely. It is going to. I'm going to have it show the ability, but it can't. It's just not. Oh my god. I'm like annoyed. But it's going to use a 15-foot fire breath cone attack on you all. I'm trying to. The template isn't showing up, so I'm just going to measure to see if that works.
He's wounded, y'all.
That's only going to hit Flint. So, Flint, if you can make a dexterity saving throw, as I try to fix this macro, maybe some other time.
Big 9.
Big 9 is not going to do it, and you're going to take 4 additional damage as this creature is just sort of breathing on you menacingly. The one that you were shouting at, Aesopp. Well, actually, you were shouting at the one that went to just go attack Flint.
Correct. Yes.
But it seems to completely ignore you. But you have seemed to attract the attention of this other one, who is up here torturing the people up top.
Yeah, so I'd say as long as it's not killing people, that's fine.
And it is going to probably also use a breath weapon attack, but it sort of is coming over here. So if you could roll me a dexterity saving throw, as it's also looking to hit Bali Brightbeard behind you.
Oh, poor Bali. Sorry, girl. You're not who I'm going after. Oh, that is...
So you save. So
I
you
save?
take.
Okay.
Yeah, you only take 4 damage, but Bali is roasting behind you. And Clax, it's your turn. Top of your turn, you're going to take a little bit of 7 down to 3 fire damage.
With Clax and I back to back in initiative, is there any room for us to combo a thing, or basically I want to give something to Clax on my next turn? I'm wondering if there's any room to yell out to him to let him know that and do that before he goes. That's up to you.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to do shared initiative orders, but you can, as a free action, say what you want to say, and Clax could hold his turn.
I'm gonna make you bigger.
Sure. I mean, so is it one of those things? I just hold an action But then, do I give up all the other stuff I can do, or is it one of those?
If you
we
hold an
do it on
action,
the
you only
next turn?
get. If you hold an action, you only get one attack.
You only
can't
have one attack with a held action?
Yeah,
You don't get
because-
like...
Yeah, you're not holding the attack action. You're holding an attack.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or is it something that it could happen and that would
You
affect
could
me?
just take your turn normal then, and I'll just
All
give
right.
it to you for next round.
So since I got the big guy there and I'm enveloped in the flame, kind of smiling through all the flame whipping on me, just having a blast. I'm going to first start with the battle axe. Going to swing at him with my attack action for the first attack. Oh, that was a nat 20 rolled off. Before you tell me the results, though, I'm gonna burn through some of these superiority die. Gonna go ahead and do precision attack again. Superiority die, come on, 4 better. Oh, that does not do it. I don't think.
That does not do it. 13 is the AC.
Yeah. So then, second attack of my attack action. Come on. All right, there we go. So
That's a hit.
and damage is garbage. 7 slashing. It is a magical weapon, and then I imagine there's not really a good way to tell how beat up this creature is. Much.
Yeah, as you're sort of attacking it, the effect that you're monitoring is that it's almost like you're carving off wisps of flame off of it, and to that end you do see it diminishing, but it still seems healthy and vibrant.
Then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and action surge.
Okay.
And just because I want to get rid of this big guy as quickly as possible. So there's the action surge, and then I will start attacking again. Oh, actually, should I hold the action surge for if you make me bigger? Yeah, because if you make me bigger, what's the bonus?
Gives you an extra d4 to damage for each attack.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and hold the action surge for right now then. So that's my turn. Actually, I can I move back just one slot and still stay in range? So I don't want to give an attack of opportunity, but I want to kind of. So I was right here. Yeah, just move back one diagonal, try and pull them away from the other people.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Yeah, where you're standing, moving any further back sort of hits an elevated stage, so that's sort of a
Okay.
wall for you.
Perfect.
Action surge specifically says on your turn.
I mean, we could do it the other way. Like the action surge was the initial attacks, and then he's holding his first action. Yeah.
I assumed
I'm-
he would use it on his next turn.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I meant. It was like I'm not going to hold the action to use action surge. I'm going to just use the action surge on my next turn.
Oh,
Got it. I
gotcha.
misunderstood.
Okay. That is Klax's turn, and it is Flint's turn.
Flint starts to run his stubby legs down this way, hoping very much that someone will kill that thing that's heating metal on him. I'm gonna get down to. I don't have to get. I'll get down to where the same space as my robot for now. That's actually an interesting question. Can I position this in a way that can hit all 3 of us? Oh, I can't. There we go. I'm having a hard time unselecting myself. Why can I not?
I mean, I can move it
Okay.
for the time being. Where do you want it?
Somehow I've managed to select me and it and not unselect it. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can position it to be able to hit Drata and Klax.
Yeah, I would
I
say
believe
here is probably hitting both, like they're sort of like glancing them enough for it to work.
Okay, then I will activate. Oh, I can't use my own. How do I unselect something?
On the left sidebar, just click one of the other buttons and then go back to the first button. That's the only way I found to deselect. things.
Perfect. All right. And then I will Protector to give us all not a lot of temp HP, but
I'll take it.
It's something. And then I will enlarge class.
Okay. Just to clarify, who are like you're, I assume, maximizing the 10 hit points with like Destin as well.
Yeah, anybody around me that I will hit. I think that's just Destin.
That random person by the fire.
I don't know if I can. If it reaches him, sure. I will for sure do that.
I mean, 10 hit points doesn't stop somebody from being unconscious.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Cast enlarge class. So you are large. You're 8 times as heavy as you used to be. You do an extra D4 damage and have advantage on strength stuff.
I weigh as much as a Corvette. Well, almost.
All right, is that your turn?
Yep.
Alrighty. Yeah, this one over here is just sort of making the motions as I drag it to its newest target. Avendir and Destin sort of like stand themselves up, and they don't seem to really be helpful in this situation. But what you see is that they are sort of like trying to get to safety. Destin just kind of like looks at Drada and says thanks and is bolting off. Avendir is doing his best to get around the stage as well. As my game crashes once again, we're going to use the top of the initiative just to take a 5-minute break.
Lord, all right.
So we will be back momentarily.
And it was all a dream.
We'll see. Okay. Top of the initiative. How is Aesopp doing?
Not great. I'm gonna be real.
And let's see how you enjoy being on fire. If you would not mind taking 10 additional fire damage.
I'm looking rough, y'all. Oh yeah, really rough. Really, really rough. Okay. Wow, well, I don't even know what I should be doing. Let's see. Wow, that just made things way more complicated than needed to be. What does this give me? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna measure something out real quick. So that's like 15 feet to get to him. Okay, so I'm gonna move up to Jory. No, wrong one. I do not provoke opportunity attacks with kinetic jaunt. And I'm going to, through all the pain, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
If he's not already dead.
Go ahead and roll the dice.
Guess I can't tell if he's dead. But yeah, I'm gonna cast on him anyway. Cool.
It appears that the wounds are sealing on his body, and you do see his chest raise.
Okay. So I have 35 feet left. What's half of 35? If I carry him? 15?
Yeah, it would be 15.
So...
And forced movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity either, so he would be safe from any kind of attack.
That said, this little monster thing seems to cast in cone effect, so you might be best off just getting away from him.
That's true. Okay. I'm gonna just look. Is he like waking up? Is he just kind of like still unconscious? Like what am I seeing when I cast that on him?
Just sort of in the span of a round, which is 6 seconds, you run up and I imagine my phone is going off like crazy. I imagine you put your hand on his chest and summon the energy that you watch air enter his lungs, and he just sort of starts coughing and with a dazed look is trying to regain his senses.
I'm gonna grab him. Oh, go ahead.
You don't know that he's necessarily noticed you yet.
Okay.
But he is breathing.
Grab his head, whisper we'll kind of scream whisper in his ear, like stage whisper in his ear. Like, get help, get out of here, and I'm gonna kiss him on the cheek. And I'm going to run. How much feet do I have left? 35? I'm going to run back towards the rest of the group.
Okay.
So let's see. How far can I go? I can go here. Oh, I'll be right next to him. Oh. I'll keep myself away. I'm going to go here. Let's see. I have a bonus action still. I still could use. I don't know what I would do with that said bonus action.
Can't be a spell either because you used Cure Wounds. So.
Oh, it can't be a spell?
Yeah, you can't use 2 leveled spells on the same turn.
Got it. Okay.
There's not too many bonus action cantrips that I can think of.
Yeah, you can. Bardic Inspiration is probably your number 1.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm going to inspire, since I think I'm close to everyone now, because I moved. I'm going to inspire...
Yeah, you can reach everybody.
Drada, since they're next in the initiative order. And Drada, it's a D8, and if you use anything magical, it goes towards that as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
And then I'll just kind of say, y'all, I'm hurting.
Drada, you are up.
I also. Okay, first of all, as Destin runs away, I think Drada will go. Okay, yeah, get out of here. Also, you're cute. Okay, bye. Mumbling as fast as he can. I think Drada will. That he has a little bit of distance. Take 3 shots on the large fire elemental right in front of me.
Very well. Please do. That is certainly a hit.
Incredible. Should I? How do you?
Just go ahead and roll all 3, and then just roll all 3 attacks, and then roll the damage button. Like click the damage button when you hit.
Okay.
You can use a D8.
Yeah.
We'll be using a D8 on one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
I would assume the second one, because the third one is your bonus attack, which does less damage in general.
There you go.
There you go. 13 is the AC.
Ow.
So if you want to roll the damage on the top 2, and then roll, I think, 2d6 extra for your hunter's mark.
But also, because we're a rogue now,
Yes,
within 5
that is
feet,
true. Yes.
Another D6 of sneak attack.
Yes. So, so roll the 2 damage, click the damage button both times, and then roll 3d6.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
That's some D6s.
You are... I would say that this is more in Flint's wheelhouse, but Flint, you have a sense of satisfaction that hits you as you observe your magical infusions, both from Clax and from both the radiant weapon that you gave to Clax, as well as the repeating enchantment that you put on Drada's crossbow, that these seem to be doing full damage to this fire elemental. And I say that for Flint's benefit, but you, Drada, see that yourself, that these arrows are hitting this immaterial form, or that this, like, these wisps of fire, and instead of just kind of going right through it or erupting in flame, you see that it's like sort of kind of like a bullet that's going clean through. It's like dragging flame with it.
Pretty cool. Also, just a question. Are they immune to fire damage?
Yes.
Great. Absorb elements doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cool.
But, I mean, it stopped you from going on fire.
Hey, that was pretty good. And with that, let me just do a quick distance measure for my movement, and then I'll be done with my turn. I still have a fair amount of hit points left. I will start moseying my way, putting myself in, eventually heading off to the other little friend who's attacking everyone relentlessly, and putting myself in the way of Mouse, so Mouse can do healing and not have to worry about flame entity.
Very well. At the end of your turn, this elemental turns its attention towards you, having dealt a significant blow to it, and sort of Clax. You feel, even as you are sort of an imposing figure, that it seems to want to dash through you in order to reach Drada. So you will get an attack of opportunity. Additionally, our good friend Flint and his cannon are going to catch on fire, as well as...
So sorry.
I think that it would go through Mouse. So unfortunately, all of you are going to suffer 9 fire damage, just as actually
There's no saves or anything for that?
No, there's no saves. As it runs through your space, you take this damage.
I'm casting another absorb element.
Okay.
To have it.
Yeah, so you'll still take the damage, but you're trying to not catch on fire.
I have 4, so 1 tip. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and take my attack of opportunity.
Yeah, totally. And Flint, you would technically get an attack of opportunity as well.
Another one.
Sure.
Oh,
Let me
damn it.
figure out how to take a
Oh.
melee attack.
Plus D4. All right, so 11 damage.
Okay.
Hey, it's farther away from unconscious people now. That's fun.
True.
I hit it with a dagger.
Did you have your dagger out? I'm gonna.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you genuinely.
I would have my blasted rod out, so I don't know what that does to count for a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an unarmed strike, but that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, no, I just don't bother.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to I'm not trying to be a jerk. But I do need
Someday,
you to,
by level 16, I'll have Warcaster.
Yeah. Make a concentration check for enlarge person, if you would mind.
Oh, I'm gonna be really sad.
And Mouse, are you concentrating on something as well?
I'm not. Can I? Never mind. My form is not concentration.
Gotcha. That's right.
I do keep enlarge, I think.
Yes, you do. So the four of you have taken the 9 damage, I am assuming, as it sort of closes in on Drada and is going to come for a few swings. 22, I'm assuming that hits.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And a second attack as well. That one does not hit. Only take the top damage on this roll that I'm about to do. This one, well, this is a different attack.
Absorb elements gives me resistance until my next turn.
Oh, it does. Okay, then yes. So you take 5 fire damage from this. I did not realize that. I thought it was only resistance to the immediate spell. That's cool. But despite all this, and I actually do need you to make 2 Constitution saves for your Hunter's Mark, as you're maintaining that. But you do find that this elemental, you have, through your repeating bow, managed to draw its attention, and unfortunately you do... I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
That I'm assuming that's a fail.
Yes. And that will end its turn. Mouse, at the top of your turn, if you could take 4 fire damage.
Yep. So I'm gonna be real smart. And I'm gonna run away.
Okay. It will take an attack of opportunity on you, of course.
Fine.
For big 21.
Am I able to climb up on the stage? Oh, yes, that will hit me.
Yeah. So you're going to take 10 fire damage from the attack of opportunity. Not the second 10. So the stage is elevated about 5 feet up. So how are you trying to get up there?
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have any extra movement. 5 feet, no.
Yeah,
because
I don't
it'll probably
think so.
take me 10 feet, and I don't have that. I'm gonna come down here anyway because I want to get away from it. I'm gonna use my action to put myself out.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's any chance, but Mouse is trying to not let anybody die today. So actually, gonna be one less die. She's going to bonus action, healing word, heart crusher, chalice form, Atiel, and hope they're both not quite dead yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll it because I'm casting the
Yeah.
spells, and then you can decide what happens with that.
That's good. And I know that you messaged me that you were using wheel, I believe. Probably for like 2 turns in a row on Heart Crusher. Is that what you implied?
I don't know that I had. I shouldn't have clicked Cosmic Omen. I should have clicked Chalice Form.
That's fine.
Did I have a reaction the first time? If I can, I would have probably.
Okay.
I just would have done it once.
So I just rolled. occurs to me that those are secret rolls, but I'm rolling kind of retroactive death saves for the 2 of them to determine their status. And from the distance that you're at, you see your magic take shape. And it seems to find its mark, and you see them both sort of returning to a mild consciousness as they are trying to gauge their situation.
Are either of them on fire?
Hard Crusher is.
I thought we.
I
Oh no,
thought I
sorry.
put
Yes, Hard Crusher. Yeah,
out.
that's right. Hard Crusher got Druid crafted. ATL has never been caught on fire, so no.
Okay, cool.
And then I used my action to put out the fire on me.
Yes. Okay.
So that's my turn.
Very good. We're gonna do heat metal. If you could do another con save, Flint. That's a success, so that is only 4 fire damage to you.
I was going to say, that also rolled secretly, so...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me turn
It's
that
fine.
back. As my screen dies again.
Oh, boy.
This is just a really spooky fight, and your screens are scared to be turned on right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I think it's just something about running 2 instances of the game at once. But let's see. This one is, even though, yeah, it doesn't really see Aesopp behind it, because it has sort of been laser focused on Flint at this time. I'm gonna actually roll to see if it gets its flame back. It does not. So it's actually just going to run up to Flint and take a couple swipes take a swipe at you with a seeming like flame claws that it has. Does an 18 hit?
It does not.
Oh boy. Your AC is giant. And that is going to end its turn. This other one has sort of drawn Aesopp's attention, or Aesopp has drawn its attention, and it's going to come towards you. Let me see if it gets its fire back.
Hopefully not.
Nope.
Okay.
But it is still has enough movement to get up to you, and it's going to swipe.
Uh-huh.
Big 17
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
for total of 5 damage.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna be knocked out at the start of my turn.
Sorry, guys.
I'm
Excellent.
going to be down.
Oh, good. Are you refreshing?
Yep. I accidentally clicked something and hit the wrong button, and it said thank you, and I said no, that's not what I wanted to do.
Goodbye.
I'm back in.
All right. Well, it is your turn.
Yep. Okay. All right. So close that. All right. I'm going to attempt to move this ginormous creature now. It's 5, 10. Try not to. 15, 20, 25. All right. So I'm in range of.
Let me give you just a little bit of fire damage to start
Yep.
your turn.
All good.
Big 1.
All right. And actually, that takes care of my last 10 hit points. So.
Yeah, Clax is doing just fine compared to some of the other stress of the situation.
Okay.
This is what it's like to be a barbarian.
Yes, it is. Except this is really neat against fire. So how beat up is the big guy looking versus how? And this little one next to Flint, that's the one that's been casting the heat metal, right?
Yeah, maintaining the heat metal.
Or maintaining heat.
Yeah, and I mean the big one looks diminished compared to where it started. I don't know. It's hard to tell. You're not really
It's fine.
fighting.
How's Flint looking? Actually, how about that question?
Not quite half, but I'm very close to half.
Okay. All right, then
I'm okay.
I'm going to start with my attack action at the big guy, and so gonna swing the first one.
I was
That will
about to say
definitely
that the tiny guy next to Flint has already been hit.
Well, so has the big guy, but yeah.
Oh,
And
right.
I'll roll my d4s here after I attack
Okay.
with both. So 21 should hit. Third one, gosh darn it. And then I'm just going to roll 2d4. 2d4. Roll. Oh, did it? Oh,
Yeah, I did. Oh, no. It only did 94.
Yeah, sorry. So that's a 3 plus. Oh, I added the plus. Sorry, that's my bad.
That's fine.
I usually type it out and I was getting lazy. So 5 additional. So 17, 22 with the first round of attacks.
Okay.
How's the creature looking?
It's looking pretty strained, is how I would describe it.
Okay, then I will now use the action surge, attack action again, and let's see if we can't. Hopefully, big number. All right, 17. I'll just do it all. Man, another plus. I'll just roll it at the same time. Roll. All right, so that's 10.
Okay, still up.
All right, and then we'll do my second attack. All right. 9 plus. Come on, big number. Another 2. So another 11.
That is its exact hit points. So, how does Klax dispatch this?
So just like the fires of whirling dervish, Klax being a large, he's just, I don't want to call it pirouetting because a creature that size does not pirouette, but just the axe is just moving in arcs and circles, and he's just trying to shred this fire to shreds, essentially, just trying to cut it half, and eventually just hacks, and just finally, I imagine, just the fire disappears.
You observe as it sort of is diminishing that the flames are almost being absorbed back into the craters on the ground. And the one thing that happens is that you see the other elementals who are present seem to be reacting with horror of some kind. Even those of you who speak Primordial don't actually understand any spoken word that is happening right now. They seem to just be sort of scattered and panicking in some way, shape, or form. But you do notice that the fire dispersed to the 3 largest fires that are sort of near you. So I'm just going to mark them with a pencil, and they're sort of these boxes. So there's the fire next to Flint that is sort of picked up in heat. There's the one over here that has as well, and then this one over here as well. That is what you observe as you sort of slay this elemental.
Okay, and that is my turn.
Okay. Flint, you are on fire, and...
Oh, am I on fire? Okay.
Yeah, you're on fire, and you are standing next to this brightened flame.
Oh, great.
If you could enjoy another lovely 11 fire damage. And if you could roll another Constitution saving throw for your enlarge.
Okay. Well, it's done its job, so if I lose it...
Hey, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you're fine.
17. All right.
You're fine, quote unquote, given your circumstance.
All right. Seeing my current state of hit points, going to put my fire out. I think is... Yeah. Put the fire out. And
I will tell you that the heat coming off of this flame next to you, you know that you shouldn't stand next to it.
yeah, got that impression. Can I carry my Eldritch Cannon with me as part of my movement? Like, can I, like, it's tiny. Can I
I'd say it can hop on your shoulder as part of it. Well,
basically,
yeah.
what I kind of want to do
as your
is...
item interaction, you just put it on your shoulder, I would say.
Okay, because what I kind of want to do is carry it with my movement, and then as my bonus action, move it further, if I can.
I'd have to look into that precedent, but for the time being, yes.
Okay. And I'm gonna carry it with me. And I'm gonna try to move. Oh wait, that's. I think I can get to here. Do you count diagonals as more than 5 feet of movement?
I mean, I am using it based on the number it shows, so that's 29 feet.
All right. Well, then I can only get to here.
You can go through clacks though, like if that helps with the math.
I'll get up to here then, based on that. I probably can't run through that creature, but whatever. I get 1, 2, 3, 4.
It is going to enjoy an attack of opportunity on you.
Go for it.
But total miss.
All right. And I'll have brought friend along with me. Drop him here. What are the chances I can get me and... Yeah, I'll try and use its ability here to try to hopefully get all 3 of us in this, but definitely prioritizing getting Aesopp.
Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I would say just barely. Like, again, sort of glances them. Oh boy, that's pretty big.
7 temp. Yeah. I will take that, because I'm not doing great either after.
And sorry, just so I know, that was Aesopp, Drada, and yourself in that one?
Okay. I could not get you.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I just want to make sure.
And that's my turn.
Okay. The one over here who is causing chaos in its sort of strange primordial shriek is now rushing into the flame, and it seems to trying to build or to reinvigorate itself from the flames. You see that it's sort of like powering up, so to speak.
Great.
Hardcrusher and Atiel are... I'm not going to do every NPC's turn. They were caught off guard. Everybody is at least spending a turn at least to collect themselves, if not to get away. And you sort of just see that all of the NPCs present are just sort of one after the other. I'm going to be moving them away, starting to retreat for at least a turn.
We tell Aventure to get the heck away from the hot things.
I mean, you can shout that if you'd like. But Aesopp, you're going to take 5 fire damage.
5, you said?
Yes, 5.
That was gonna kill me. Woo! Yeah. All right. Should I prioritize the thing behind me or getting people up?
I think at this point, killing things. I think we've gotten all the important people up, and
so rude.
DM, kinetic jaunt is concentration, so I roll for that.
Oh, sure. Yep.
It's just a Constitution.
Correct. Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Yep, you're fine.
Okay.
You may have technically needed to roll that a couple of times, but it's fine for now.
I could do that if you want.
Just roll one more time, because I don't have a count on how many times.
Oh no, yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
That's fine. So I will definitely take an attack of opportunity if I leave him now. Honestly, kind of not caring about it. How far away is he? Okay. Sorry, just checking to see what my feet. Okay, that's not gonna be helpful. Sorry, dude. All right, I'm gonna attack the enemy in front of me with a what would be best against this? I'll do. I'll pull out my longsword.
Okay.
Should I be? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Okay. I will attack with my longsword. Oh wow, that did not do much. And then just to get out of harm's way, I will Misty Step for my last second level, because I had to use it twice for the weird shatter thing that happened earlier, to move. Is it okay if it's 32
Yeah.
feet?
Uh,
Or try to go lower?
yeah, I would try to go lower. You
Okay.
still have your normal movement as well. Like you Misty Step and then use your normal move, so you
Okay.
can pretty much get anywhere.
I don't know if I could say this, but seeing him run towards me, I'd say, "Stay away!"
It's hot. It's toasty.
Okay. Alright. Should I just go this way? That I can't... Oh, no. Alright. I guess it's just me, myself, and I. I'll just help these people up here. So that's... Okay, I'll move to that tile. There. Oh, crap. Random buttons. And then I will move... here to help these people out. For my next turn. Because that is everything that I can do.
Okay, you still are on fire.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
making sure that you.
I already
remember
used
that.
my action, though.
Okay. Drada.
Lord.
Seeing Aesopp rush away, I was like, you didn't have to run. I just meant don't go near the hot things. Okay. Just to try to take something off his back. Hunter's Mark, the elemental. Actually, no. Given that I also just saw a large fiery thing try to strengthen itself, that's so similarly near Aesopp. Hunter's Mark, the elemental that just went into the flame and take 2 shots.
Okay. That is a hit.
Well,
That was. Well, let me actually. That is their AC. That is also a
hell
hit.
yes. Oh yes. Okay.
No sneak attack. I will say the unconscious bodies do not count as allies.
No, I figured as such.
Yeah.
But that is still significant, and as you sort of 2-tap it, you find that the bolts sort of just erupt and make this thing explode. You do notice that it sort of violently explodes, and the figures in sort of like near it that are probably already unconscious, maybe even dead, are sort of blasted away, sort of like as a concussive blast as this thing implodes.
Cool. Just hear a faint. Sorry.
You have your movement if you would
do.
like to use that at all.
I think before anything, is it an action to give someone an item?
It would be a quote unquote item interaction. So you have one of those.
Hey, Flynn, you have a potion still. Do you know another potion? You good?
I'm fine.
You actually fine, or are you just saying you're fine?
I mean, with my temp HP, I've got 23 hit points. It's fine.
That's not that much less than I have at any given moment. That Aesopp's so far.
I know. I don't know why I did that.
A bold choice, and I commend you for it.
I got away.
I guess I'm gonna start. Okay, so anywhere that is lit brightly on the screen, that is places where one would take fire damage? ?
If you're standing on the square, yes, or if it's these 2 things that have sort of rectangles on them, then it's sort of adjacent. It's like heightened.
If I moved to where I have my cursor placed.
You're fine.
Okay, cool. In that case, 35 feet exactly. I'm gonna start moving over try to slowly make my way towards Aesopp, and also be like, "Hi, are you dead?" But he's not good at telling if people are dead, but he'll try.
Yeah, this person on the ground who you don't recognize appears to be very dead.
Sad.
Mouse. If you could enjoy, this is sort of not being on fire. This is sort of heat coming up from the fire near you. If you could, if you could take 9 damage from that.
That's such a radius. Math is hard.
Can just do -9 in the hit point box, and it just
Does the math
calculates it
for you,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
get-
keep the character sheet open all the time.
I think you could
But-
go there too, but anyway.
Anywho, she is going to run this way to get away from the really hot stuff, and she's glad that up here was taken care of. She's gonna cast some tidal wave.
Oh boy.
God, what are you?
Well, it didn't give me a template.
Oh, it didn't.
My goal was to kind of angle it so that it came through here and hit both the guy and put out the fire.
It's roughly this. I didn't super measure it, but you're trying to diagonal it a little bit.
Yeah, basically, I'm trying to get both that fire and that guy, preferably without hitting Clax.
Okay. I'm not gonna bother correcting this template. I think that's a totally reasonable thing to do. Not gonna roll it. Casting this on a creature that has 11 hit points remaining and is sort of vulnerable to this sort of effect is instantly enough to dissipate it, and you do find that the fire that had brightened underneath sort of seems to sizzle away as well.
Cool. That's all.
And the last one, who is drawn to this flame, is coming here to just sort of try to pump up and do whatever it is that the other one was trying to do. So, Clax, you are up.
Clack seeing this, again, still on fire. If you want to let me know how much I take.
Yeah. Big 3.
Alright, just describing that the fire elemental is trying to go Super Saiyan. Alright. Okay, so I take 3. Let me update that real quick. I don't think I've ever been so happy to be a Dragonborn in my life.
It's a good fight for a Dragonborn.
Yep. Move right up there, and I don't know if I take damage by being
You
that
do,
close.
yes. If you end your turn in that space, you will. So.
Okay, well, I still have 10 feet or 15 feet of movement left at the end, so
Yep.
I will go ahead and start striking at that little guy. Ooh, 7. All right, 14 hits.
That hits. Yep.
Damage. Come on, not a 1. Oh my god. Plus my D4. Oh man. What the heck? Another 2. I swear, that's all I'm doing. All right. And then the strike again at it. Oops. Too fast. There we go. All right. And
There's
come
been
on.
0 natural 20s. Oh my god.
I have rolled 5 ones on the D8 this combat. 5.
Still
I-
roll.
Should
Roll-
be. Or,
Yeah. Actually, no. I think even if your D4 is the lowest roll, you have done enough damage to take this thing out.
Alright.
So, yeah, it's funny. Your dice are funny, but it all worked out in the end. It does explode.
Okay.
If you don't mind making a dexterity saving throw.
do not. And does that dexterity saving throw just affect me, or is it AoE? That's an AoE.
It's an AoE that seems to affect not Flint, but the bystander here, unfortunately.
And I fail,
So
but I will take half then.
and then because you have your shield out now,
So
it's
quarter.
a quarter, yeah.
So 2.
Yeah, big 2. I am going to continue with the initiative just for the purposes of the fire that's happening. You're safe standing in that spot now, but is there anything you do, or are you just sort of like assessing the battlefield at this point?
Well, I have no more actions left. So I would have a bonus action. Do I have any bonus action that I think I can do anything about that fire? I don't think I do. Just give me 2 shakes here real quick.
Is when he killed that, did the fire in that like pit quell at all, or is it still?
Yeah, it did. I'm just failing it. Okay. The delete button. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else, so I'm just gonna move not towards Flint because I don't want to catch him or his little robot on fire, but I'll just move 10 feet back that way.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Well,
I'm still on fire.
Yeah,
Why?
you're still on fire. I think like there's no way that you can't put yourself out, Clax. What I'm trying to resolve is the fate of Aesopp before we exit initiative. So Flint, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, is he still on fire?
Yeah.
So are you technically?
I put myself
you put
out
yourself
last
out.
turn.
Yeah, you did.
I'm going crazy. I'm like in a crazed mode. Aesopp just doesn't know what to do with himself.
I don't have any good I don't have any good way to move or anything fast to get up to you. I could probably get close enough to levitate you. I don't think that'll help.
No.
Now you're on fire and flying.
Woo! Come on, Air.
Yeah, Flint will just let's see here. Action move, run this way. I'll pick up my little Eldritch Cannon as I go. Why did you not go? And then I will action move further.
And your cannon will not reach even if best circumstances. So I'm go ahead and keep moving, but we're gonna go ahead and start Aesopp's turn.
How much damage?
I am going to. I don't know if it will wind up mattering. I'm going to telekinetic shove as a bonus action Aesopp towards me. But I believe that just moves him 5 feet.
Yes. And that would also mean your cannon can't move, so.
It can't move. It'll just be
big 3.
Wow. Okay. That still doesn't change what I want to do. I'm not mentally there, just from all the death and destruction I've seen. I'm not there, and I'm not worried about myself. So I am going to look at the 3 people surrounding me. If I vaguely remember that Gris was around this area. Do I recognize him among the bodies that are in front of me?
Doing just a quick check, you see that Gris is actually this one.
Okay. Do I recognize the 3 in front of me?
No, there's nobody in that area who you recognize.
Okay, and I'm gonna go over to Gris and cast Cure Wounds on him.
You all observe. I'm going to expedite the rounds because I assume somebody's just going to fix up. Like within this next round of combat, somebody's going to take care of Aesopp. Well, who is doing what out of initiative order to resolve what's going on, or what are you all doing now that the combat is over?
If no one does before me, I would run up and try to put Aesopp out. Just pat down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even see you coming towards me.
I think Mouse would technically have the earlier opportunity, and would have the range, I think.
Yeah. If he's 85 feet away, I should be able to run 25 feet forward.
Yeah.
Druidcraft, put him out. Bonus action, healing word, and give him the healing word and me the... Is anybody else looking rough?
I don't look great, but...
Your allies are no longer on fire except for Klax, who seems fine. And so, really, of the people who are hurting, it's probably bystanders.
Then I will give a random bystander my chalice.
Okay. Initiative is over. Tell me in the moments that follow this how your sort of what it is that your priorities are. We're not gonna roll every heal, every medicine check, every this or every that, but let me know what is your focus?
Mouse is on full triage. She's got plenty of spell slots to dump into Healing Word, and she can heal a second person with the same cast for the rest of the minute. She is trying to save anybody who is down but not out.
I am going to follow that with doing the same, not as effectively, because I do not have that many spell slots left, but just kind of taking the time to do this. And the only thing I'm thinking about is what I've seen my parents do when I was with them, and just that's the only image that's running through my head right now, and Jory.
Klax, I assume you put yourself out first, but then what do you do?
Well, I actually spike the axe and just scream in victory. Still on fire, just reveling in the moment. Then kind of realize that this is actually starting to hurt a little bit. Pat myself out, and then just begin essentially triaging, for lack of a better term. Trying to decide if there's anybody saving that I can attempt to stabilize, or if there's anybody I recognize. I do have a healing potion on me, so as I go body to body, if I find anybody that I feel is important enough.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. Effectively, with a normal NPC who's not an adventurer or whatever, when they die, are they in a state where Revivify can bring them back?
So it's sort of the ruling I generally would use is if you take over your maximum hit points, then you die. Nobody here has been disintegrated, so Revivify would function, but normal healing wouldn't heal the average person, the average commoner, I should say. And as you guys are triaging, that's what you are finding, is that there are a number of people who are not prepared for this circumstance and were beyond saving. All of the named people so far that you've really gone to seem to be making it out okay, though.
The only person I can think of that I'm pretty sure is dead and named is Brightbeard.
Yeah, at this point he hasn't.
He was in cone at
Yeah.
some point.
We haven't. Oh, good.
I was just gonna say, unless he's
He
got
didn't
more
catch
hit
on
points
fire, and so I'm gonna. Can you, the people who haven't sort of just told me what they're generally doing, because we're not gonna determine what every single person's status is, but what is your priority? If you haven't shared that already.
I think it's a mixture of, it's a lot of triage, stamping fires out while I can, and slowly making my way over to Aesopp and just going stop, Aesopp, hi, you're here, hi, you good, check in, not a kind check-in.
I understand. I'm not there. I will, if you turn my face to look at you, my eyes will be looking at yours, but there is not there.
Okay, great. Then I'm taking Aesopp's hand and guiding him, helping get him from person to person, so whatever magic he can do, he can do. Very much Strahd has his shit, and also has been in crises before, and, will not take shit when this happens.
Oh, that's what I was doing. I was trying to help
Strahd
people.
Helping you expedite that process, perhaps not in the kindest way, then.
That is fine.
And I think
I'm just going to ask. I mean, Aesopp, I'm still reading a sort of like panicked expression from you. If you could just roll me a wisdom saving throw, just how much you're holding it together.
Wisdom save. Not what I'm good at.
Okay. Yeah. You feel you can roleplay this as you desire, but you are maintaining your composure enough to continue doing the work.
Okay. So I'm not like fetal position on the ground. Cool.
Yeah. and even if you rolled a natural one, I wouldn't do that to you, but it's sort of like I'm just giving you a baseline to work off of. Flint?
I think Flint is kind of an interesting combination of like keeping an eye on the sky and the fires and stuff for any potential like additional threats, and sort of like he's not as effective at healing by any stretch as some of the folks, but kind of almost like logistics, like looking at where people are and going elsewhere to look for just anybody who needs healing to like save their lives, but otherwise is trying to conserve a little bit of magic just in case there is an additional threat. Like if he ends up burning through it because there are just people that need saving, he will, but he's not like healing someone because they're hurt. It's
okay. So, a few minutes go by as you all sort of assess the situation and sort of giving you like a panoramic view of the scene. You're sort of looking at the destruction around you, the people who have been hurt, people who have been saved, and as that you sort of take in that scene, the screen sort of pulls out into a soft blue light, and you find that all of you are sitting in the Horizon Theater, observing a illusory projection of the encounter that you had just quote unquote participated in. You find that there is, sort of playing things out of sequence a little bit. At the moment that you all started staring up at the sky was the moment that Avendir had announced the circumstances of this round. He had shared that as part of your participation, an imprint of yourself was contained within an orb to be played or presented as part of this competition without your knowing. This was meant to demonstrate sort of the real moments of what a hero would do, because improv isn't enough. It's sort of as soon as you know that you are sort of on stage or improving is the time at which everybody is sort of putting their best foot forward, and they're lauding themselves up to be somebody who they haven't been. And so it was at that moment that Avendir had pulled out the orb, and you saw that it started to project this scene of a chaotic moment that the left stars were able to rise up and conquer. There's sort of a general reaction from the crowd as it sort of fades to black and the orb pulls the illusion back, and you start to hear a sort of like uproarious, like sort of clapping and cheering from the crowd. People seem to be pleased with this performance that there are a number of people. You kind of look back and you see like Bali Brightbeard, who's just sort of like crossing his arms a little bit. You're kind of just getting a gauge of people's reactions, and Gris looks over at Aesopp and gives you a nod.
I'm completely embarrassed, like full on embarrassed. Like I don't see Gris looking at me because I'm head down after watching it.
So just to make sure I understand, we didn't just have that experience.
You
We
watched
essentially
yourselves doing
watched
that
an
experience.
AI
Yes.
projection prediction of what we would have done. Got
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Cool. So I'm not actually
Yeah.
livid.
Yeah, you all
Just
take.
watching it.
Yeah, feel free to hit the long rest button. None of that happened. You're totally fine. Everybody's safe. It probably was an odd feeling to see that, and you can feel as you want to feel about whether it captured your authentic selves. But the way that Avendir has presented it is that it was designed to do as much. Is that through the magic of Arcana, he was able to program an illusion and imprint you upon it. And this is what has been shown this evening. The sort of audience starts calming down, and then Avendir just says, like, he kind of comes back on stage. He had went to go take a seat, and he comes back on stage and says, "Give it one more round of applause for Aesopp and the Left Stars." And then there's like, yeah, it's a strange circumstance.
Yeah. Everyone just saw me kiss Joru too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Is Brightbeard clapping?
Less so.
Sorry. Clearly I had my priorities.
How do the judges react?
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
I would do say that.
I love when you say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
They, insight check can never read somebody's mind, but they seem pleased. They seem, I'd say that you're even sitting within proximity enough to just catch a few words, and it's Imral Skywind who sort of leans over to the Tabaxi breath of fresh air and says, "They saved a lot of people." And then Breath sort of nods and says, "Well, let's see how the other competitors do." I'm going to share, especially because it's kind of getting late, out of game. The other competitors do have their performances broadcast as well. You see Heartcrusher and Destin find themselves in a very similar circumstance that seems to have been toned down, so to speak. Like there's less people there, and so they're fighting less creatures. But the same sort of circumstance happens, that anybody who they sort of save or help sort of just runs off in a random direction. This is clearly a illusion that's designed to show off main characters, and not sort of like add in the support column. Heartcrusher is kind of equally impervious in the way that Clax demonstrated. She is just fierce and show no fear sort of type. She is tanking a lot of these hits. Destin was in a really bad spot as soon as the combat started, but you see he digs deep and pulls out a tidal wave of his own that is able to really cut the fight in half at the very beginning. Unfortunately, neither of them sort of demonstrate the same healing potential that your party does, and a lot of their triage is a little more difficult for them to manage. And Heartcrusher is also just not there for that. She's just here for killing. So there's the read that you get from their performance is that they seemed to dispatch the creatures in a similarly impressive fashion, given how it was scaled to fit them. But the sort of collateral damage and their ability to manage that was generally less impressive. There was more people who were quote unquote dead by the end of it. I will give two of you, I would say Drada and I'll say Drada and Aesopp if you can roll a perception check as you're sort of watching this.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, the details of like the details you're not able to pick out anything beyond what I shared, unfortunately.
How does Destin react to watching himself?
Is
Like,
the important question.
I'll give you an insight check for that. Oh my god.
no idea.
You guys are perhaps shaken about.
I definitely.
Drada's still in like yell at Aesopp mode, and it's just not good for anyone.
Yeah, which you never actually did in real life per se. But the next performance, you see Aetiel and her assistant sort of be projected, and their sort of performance is a little different. You find that through the magic that Aetiel is able to sort of command, that she is more of a disabler. She's the one who's sort of freezing. First, you notice that she and Aetiel looked up to the stars far before anybody else did, and they were able to have people retreat to safety before any of the before the meteors hit. They still did wreck a fair amount of people, but there was some damage that was mitigated from them being able to shout out, or specifically from the assistant being able to shout out. And Aetiel herself has been sort of disabling or stunning some of the elementals as her assistant is sort of bringing people up and telling them to flee. The consequence of this, as you watch the story unfold, is that although Aetiel was able to, like, she through some magic has been able to banish several of them without sort of damaging them, but that when they were powering up and sort of igniting themselves in the fire, they were actually multiplying into a full-sized elementals again, and eventually it became too much for them to manage. And while they were able to get a fair amount of people out to safety, the sort of illusion ends with sort of like a desolate battlefield, and sort of the implication that the day was not as saved as it could have been. And over the course of all this, there still is clapping. Everybody seems to be enjoying the show, and some people feel this way or feel that way about it, but ultimately Avendir takes the stage and says, "Let's hear it again for all of our competitors." Another round of applause, and he says, if those of you who would like to join us, please come to the reception tonight at the Rising Melody, and the judges will announce the two finalists. And that is where we will end the game, because it's late, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
So thanks for surviving that.